start, he has managed to grow so much since then. He's a world-class AD carry right now, and him and Carrier are an absolute force to be reckoned with.
I mean, for me, at the beginning of the split with this T1 roster, Pace was one of the overrated AD carry for me because he was not performing good enough for what we thought about the GenG Pace, right? But I think right now, he's just fitting in the roster so well. I feel like his consistency helps the team a lot because I think whenever T1 is on the downside, he was not the one who's struggling. He was the one leading the team in a positive mood, and I think this is the one again that he can carry the team for his life.
And when we had the post-game interview with Busio after their huge victory against AGAL, the bot laners are playing mages, it allows him to be way more independent. And when you think about that for Paze and Carrier, that is just a scary, scary prospect to allow Carrier to influence around the map.
Yeah, I mean, Carrier being freed up, and also with these picks, things like Camille, a little bit more eclectic picks that we're starting to see define the meta. Great for Carrier, but also for Paze. He's consistently been comfortable, you know, as much as picks like Zeri have been standouts for him. We've seen him have the kill record at MSI at internationals with 28 kills on the lethality cluster, not your traditional sort of AD carry pick. His Mel has been so fearsome, and I just feel like there's no limits to what he can play.
I mean, for me, it's really annoying to play against T1 because you gotta think about their unique picks as well, because we saw them just picking Bard and picking a Freyrin, right? I think there are so many picks that you have to think about in the draft, and there's not many games. You only have one single best of 3 here, so I think you gotta be quick on the adapting, otherwise you're gonna be just kicked out of the stage.
Well, for deeper insights on the bot lane changes and more, let's send it on over to Ginny, standing by with Carrier.
Thank you, Digon. I am standing by with Carrier, the man of a lot of the matches that we've seen recently from T1. You guys have been performing incredible since MSI. I'd love to hear about your individual focus since MSI, since that tournament, as to how you're allowing the team to perform so well here at EWC.
사실 MSI에서의 좀 아쉬운 성적 이후로 정말 좋은 모습을 또 이번 대회에서 보여주고 계신데요. 개인적으로
I forgot my mic was muted. So hi everyone, hi Jazib. Hi Jack. How are you people?
남은 팀들이 어떻게 하는지 계속 지켜보면서 그리고 EWC 와서도
So yeah, for today's game, it's semifinals between the first semifinals is between T1 versus KC, and the second semifinals is between GenG and DK. Eto, masarap pa din ako. Wow. Hashtag hope all.
In the meantime, we try to find what was different with between ours and the opponents, and we try to analyze everything, and we made a good feedback on that. So for myself and the team, so I think it went well.
Alright, and KC also was one of the teams that was at MSI. However, they didn't have a very strong performance over there. It's been a little different here at EWC. They're coming through with some pretty good games, and a lot of it is coming down to that Busio Yike synergy that we're seeing coming out. So for you in that support role as well, how are you going to approach it to prevent Busio from actually being able to roam around?
네, 사실 KC도 MSI 때 많이 아쉬웠지만 이번 대회에서 정말 돌풍을 일으키면서 좋은 모습 보여주고 있습니다. 특히나 이제 야이크 선수와 부시오 선수의 이 시너지 조합이 정말 빛을 발하고 있는데요. 그런 조합에 좀 맞서서 좀 어떤 식으로 좀 대처하고 준비하실지 궁금합니다.
일단 MSI에서 KC랑 이제 한 번 만났었는데 그때랑은 좀 메타가 또 많이 달라졌다 생각하고, 그리고 지금 또 KC가 EWC에서 하고 있는 걸 보면은 또 말씀하신 대로 서포터와 정글러가 좀 되게 유동적으로 잘 움직이고.
You wanna play League? Sure, go play.
Yeah, obviously,
but mind you, this is T1's game.
Last time in MSI. However, I think the meta has shifted from that. So I think I'll have to see about their plays. Of course, their support and jungle are very cohesive right now. So I think their performance is really great. So it's going to be an exciting to counter against.
All right, well,
but I still want to see the game.
As well, for joining us.
And what were the amazing clips that we can
get? Thank you very much, Maddox, for those fantastic translations. It isn't just
Yeah,
the bot lane, though, that
it's
we want to
obviously
focus
T1
on.
versus
There's been
GenG
a
on the
great
finals.
redemption story in the top lane for Doran, and Kana has been so dominant. These two go head-to-head yet again.
Yeah, for me, Doran really had a great year last year when he joined T1, leveled up a lot of his play when it came to laning.
2-1,
This year,
T1,
though, so far, had
2-0.
struggled a good
And
amount,
2-0,
especially at MSI was not his best
We'll see,
tournament.
we'll see.
But in EWC so far has returned to that Doran that we saw last year, has returned that level of form, went up against Zeus, had a really strong performance, and this is what T1 really needs to push them to the absolutely top level of the world. When Doran is in form, when the Krug Lord is playing well, the whole team looks great.
And for Kana, spending a couple of splits with Europeans and in being in the European team, I think he mentioned that he really likes the environment that he has right now with the team and with the league. That means I think he's more open to try some
Casey
new
is
stuff, something
Carmine
like
Corp.
top
Yeah,
brand or like
it's
top
Carmine
middle league,
Corp.
which is it opens up a lot
Might
of draft
be
option for the team.
2-0.
And I think whenever
We'll
the
see.
team needs, Kana is the one
Because
who
the
pulls
game
off the
between
hero
Casey
plays.
and
We might
AOL
have the Prince Khalees on the bot lane,
AGAL
but
is not
I think you have
expected
father top
as well.
lane, Kana
So maybe
for KC here.
Again, forged
Casey
from
can
that
show us
T1 pressure
something
earlier in his
new
career, now a superstar in his own right in the
unexpected plays, so
LEC.
we'll see.
It's going to be a great battle. I wonder who will win, but you don't have to wonder too long. You can head on over to the EWC website and make your pick'ems now. Sign up, go play, see how you do. It's time for our analysts to make their pick'ems. What you got here, Ox?
I'm going with T1. I think T1 have always been a team, a organization who adapt so well after hardships. We've seen them do it before when they've struggled. Early stages of Worlds come back to be the final winners. If things aren't going right for them, that meta read isn't correct, they will always adjust. And EWC has been the tournament where the teams who have adjusted from MSI have performed so well, and I think they're going to make that way to the final.
I gotta go with KC because I think this EWC has been most unpredictable tournament, and I think in my heart, I do believe that T1 is gonna make it, but it's EWC, right? Nothing is predictable, and I think they're gonna make it with this blue wall all together here.
Ox, that was a pretty unpredictable prediction there by Wadid, but he's right. It has been unpredictable. This year has been unpredictable. No one thought that the blue wall would be here, but on the back of the Parisian Prince, they go up against the Pentakill Prince. It is T1 and KC, formerly a league of their own, now earning their spot in the semifinals. Who will make it to the grand finals of Esports World Cup 2026? Let's find out.
Let's go! T1!
And they'll be moving on to the semi-finals. They stopped them into the dirt.
Is that guy Korean as well? Kyabu? Is that Kyabu or?
프레임코프도 이번 올해 좀 만났었던 팀인데 굉장히 잘한다라고 생각한 팀들 중에 한 팀이라 생각하고 있고 또 워낙 상체 중심으로 좀 잘하는 팀이라 생각해서 잘한다 생각하고 있고.
Sweet revenge match, I think, because we lost against them 0-3 last time. They're all very talented, biggest team in the world. A really good opponent for us to show that we can actually be the best.
어느 팀이 올라오든 저희만 잘하면 충분히 우승할 수 있겠다라고 생각하기 때문에
I think it's going to be a huge, great rivalry between the T1 fans and the KC fans. Hopefully the KC fans are going to be louder.
일단 누가 오든 저희가 잘해서 꼭 우승까지 할 수
Oh, so
있도록
Kyaho is also a Korean. Okay. I know Kana. He was a T1 top laner as well, right? Before he transferred to LEC.
Quelle belle journée, zéro souci. Demi-finale, Carmine Corp versus T1. Could we even ask for more, Ian?
Nah, this is what it's all about. Paris, are we ready for semi-final Saturday?
Yes! This part of us
Korean giants remain, and the last hope for the West here in Paris in the sold-out STC Arena.
C'est plein à craquer, il n'y a plus de place à vendre, frérot!
Now, if you're a fan of League of Legends, you're a fan of Faker.
Okay, that's not wrong. But if you're a French fan of League of Legends, there's one thing that comes above in your heart than Faker, and that is Carmine Corp. Parce que quand on est un fan français de League of Legends, oui, on soutient Faker, oui, on soutient T1, mais il y a bien une équipe qui arrive avant tout le monde. Et cette équipe, c'est Carmine Corp.
Paris, who's here for T1?
Hey!
Paris, qui est là pour Carmine Corp?
All right, it's loud in here, and it is now time to kick off this first semi-final.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's do it.
C'est parti avec le rêve d'un homme d'avoir la meilleure équipe du monde sous ses couleurs, qui devient de plus en plus concret.
No one
Cette
expected
année,
them to be in the
mesdames et messieurs,
semi-finals.
Carmine Corp. What's the color? What's the color? I said, what's the color? Let's go!
Come on! I lost my voice screaming for this team, but I got a few more in me. Bring out T1!
Cutie.
Weeks ago, they swept today's opponent from the MSI stage. Yesterday, they dismantled the reigning MSI champions. T1 have arrived at the semi-finals with a warning for everyone left in Paris. When the stakes rise, so do they.
KC has done the unlikely yesterday. Can they do the impossible today? Est-ce qu'on peut le faire? Carmine Corp versus T1. Mesdames et messieurs,
Faites du bruit!
No, that's not gonna happen, bro.
I like that. Unlikely yesterday, impossible today, as T1 takes center stage yet again. It was a task that all the fans said KC wouldn't be able to do, but they got
I don't want to
to
bet
quarterfinals. AGAL was one thing, but
I just
T1
know.
are another, as I'm joined for this magical tricast by Jack Spectra, also known as Tom Cruise, and at the very end, the very lovely,
Wow.
lovely Trouble Inc.
They have
to take us
that.
through maybe
that?
another European upset.
Look at T1. They are so
AGAL. We didn't expect
happy
that.
and they look so
Through
confident.
MSI. So impossibles, possibles, it doesn't matter. We're here right now, full sold out arena, hands in the air with the phones and the flashlights.
Too many fans on the
KC in
arena.
house for them.
And it's been a tournament of upsets, right? Combo Life losing to T1, BLG losing yesterday to DK, Leon losing to Brazil.
Oh, yeah.
T1 and KC taking down AGL. It's just been upset after upset. So for me, I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to continue to see that trend today, especially when we were listening to the chants. I thought it would be kind of 50-50 between T1 and KC, but it felt pretty KC favored here today.
There's a big block over to the right side, or at least camera
If
left.
T1 lost to
That
KC, you
is
owe me with
right
one
now,
there.
all blue, all
I don't
French,
think that's gonna
all supporting
happen.
KC. Two of the
But
biggest
I don't wanna,
organizations
like,
fan base,
bet.
by the way.
I don't wanna
KC
agree
in
with
France,
that
and even when we
there.
go across LEC roadshows, there is always a big pack of KC supporters. But T1, anywhere in the world you go, there are fans to blow it all out, because here, I'll also say on our side, Jack, Trouble, there are a lot of T1 fans who've come out in Paris again.
I mean, I feel like everyone is sort of a T1 fan at
You have
heart.
to be at this
You
point.
really can't be like the GOAT who's played for T1, has played for so many years. You gotta be a fan of T1.
Parang
But you also
2%
gotta
lang
support your
mangyayari
home,
matalo
and
T1
for most of the
City.
French
Yeah, I
crowd,
know.
home is KC. I'm not gonna lie, lads. I'm a bit scared. 3 LCK teams versus 1 ABA team. The last remaining home
We
of the
like
West.
those odds. It's already a surprise. How much further can they take it? We're about to go into pick and ban. It is only a best of 3. I think that's the fans' biggest disappointment, that we don't get a full 5-game series like we did at MSI. For better or for worse, of course, T1 with a 3-0 at MSI. A disappointing, I guess, tournament for KC. Well, there's no ifs and ands about that. There definitely was.
For sure.
Can they redeem themselves as we move into pick ban?
Yeah, this has been a much-needed bounce back for KC, and I'm really looking at the Jace because Doran had a really good game on it against Zeus yesterday, and Kana had a really good game as well up against Flandre. So that's a pick that I could definitely see KC looking to take away really, really early here, or T1 looking to take it as well.
Yeah, both of them have actually been wanted respectively in their series. However, things like Cassior, Syndra, Jarvan also looming around. Jace, as Jack mentioned, here. I wouldn't mind seeing the Jarvan smashed here from Yike, especially since he can do a lot of
they have
damage.
Ziggs.
Insta-locking the Ziggs Lee Sin. I really liked Kalista
Oh,
yesterday on
Doran
the Victor.
will use
The only
Jace,
worry I have
okay.
is with Ziggs, you don't have much agency. With the Victor, you can lane bully, you can be really strong and have higher impact, but I don't see him doing that on the Ziggs.
The Ziggs was the critical mage, though. That's the problem I have. The Victor looked good, but can he redeem himself on the Ziggs? Because early in the tournament wasn't great. Lee Sin locked alongside. Trouble, you're talking about that Cassio Syndra. The option's going to be here for T1.
The funny thing about T1 is that Cassio Syndra can be played in the same composition for T1. They've done it before.
That's true.
They're interchanging Paze and Faker, having the Syndra and Cassiopeia. So they could be locking in this year right now. Miasma is so strong into Lee Sin. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the 1-2.
I do think that this Syndra
Tapos kapag natalo kasi obvious naman na. Kapag nanalo kasi that's impossible. Yeah.
And choose to either put the Syndra
But
mid lane,
we'll
bot lane,
see
keep that
if
flex
they're going
going,
to
'cause if
give
you
us
pick
a
the
good
Cassio,
fight.
You're kind of revealing your cards a little bit more. So it looks like it's going to be the Sin Sao for owner. Ooh, they take away the Camille instead. I'm
a hater.
A little bit of, if I'm EU biased here, I'm very happy about this. I think Camille has been the biggest bait pick of the tournament. I would love to see Casey just lock in the Leona every time.
Noble na ako, I'll surprise you kapag
Leona
nanalo
just
ka.
survives the laning phase fine, and then you get level
What
6.
is that?
10 out of 10 times rather have a level 6 Leona than level 6 Camille.
I do actually see the takeaway right here from Keria taking the Camille away. Doing mobile lady carries for T1, dunking the bomb of Ziggs on a Camille ult would have been pretty much deadly for T1. So taking it away from our hands to free us, but also as a gift as well. Now
Lucia is so cute.
Could be going into the hands of Kana. We have seen Flandre played a lot over on the top side of the map, or just straight up into the Camille down bot lane.
Yeah, I think it's going to go into
Let's
Buzio.
watch
Kana
what
doesn't
would
strike
happen.
me as
Yeah,
a huge Shen player.
I'm
He, of course, does play
actually
the Sion
super
here and
excited
there,
to
but
watch this
I
match.
would like to see him on the Bruiser instead, something more of a
I don't want to watch
Gen
GenG,
I
but
think the
okay,
weakest link
I'll just
of
watch it
T1,
as
even
well.
though Doran has been performing better, is still Doran, and that's the lane that I want to see Casey abuse. I think their solo laners have been playing fantastic this tournament, so leaving Kana, or leaving Kalista and Buzio rather, on this 6 Shen, you have the global mobility of Buzio on the Shen, can help out those laners. I would love to see that.
Regardless, though, if it is going to be Kana in the end, I have a lot of faith. Kana, as you said, had a great tournament versus Doran. What a time for him to step up as well after quite an abysmal showing at MSI. Now, Akali's going to be banned away. Silas as well. A lot of dive options being taken off the table for these mid laners. And again, it's not really showing any of the cards or the hands of where this Syndra / where this Ziggs Shen, side note, is also going as well.
And I'm looking for a 4th pick right here for KC for it to be top lane, something that will go into Doran's Jace, things like the Gnar pop out of mine, Rumble as well has been playing into ranged champions, specifically if you play a little bit more aggressive with the help of a Lee Sin early game. And then if you want to go completely the LPL route, Yorick is super potent into something like the Jace. Anything that can shut down the side lane, and especially the weakest quote-unquote link for T1 would be great right here for KC.
Yeah, usually into the Jace you have 2 options. Either you can fight fire with fire, or you just go a tank, which a lot of people like to opt into.
Give us fire.
But I think, especially when you already have the Shen support, you want to pick a highly volatile matchup. Look to skill check Doran, have Yike on the Lee Sin, play around you top lane. So I think on this pick here for KC, it should be something explosive, like you said, Trouble. The Yorick I would like. I think the Ambessa could work. There's a lot of options for Kana here, and we'll have to see what he goes. You could even go to Vayne, but like you haven't really seen enough for Vayne to really make sense. As are we not locking in a jab?
Please, no pick ban. Oh my God, no way.
This is a Mirwin classic.
It is, he's been learning.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Mirwin pull out the Shyvana quite a bit with Ignite Teleport, going this Bruiser AP build. And the idea is that as soon as you get your ultimate, you can always all-in the Jace. It plays similar to the Malphite Jace matchup, that as soon as you get that level 6, you have so much all-in threat that it's very difficult for the Jace to play. Although we haven't seen Kana on this pick before, so we'll have to see how he does.
And now it makes Syndra a volatile solo laner, so I'm leaning more towards that Syndra going down bot lane, because you definitely would not want to leave Syndra on the side lane now that you know a Shyvana is looming around. So I'm expecting potentially FaZe to take that one down bot, and this being a pick right here for Faker. With Cassio and Akali already taken out though, I'm kind of thinking that this Syndra might end up mid.
I mean, I'm thinking it's either Ezreal here for T1 or a mid lane pick. Although this Taliyah,
that's
we've
Taliyah, I
seen
think.
FaZe a lot on this Taliyah. Definitely, I agree with you guys. Probably going to be FaZe taking it up. We'll see here what KC decides to round out this comp. What does Yehu want in mid lane? You can presumably assume that it's going to be the Syndra mid. Let's see what he has.
All right. So, swap's going to come through. You're seeing in KC right now, just before that swap does come through, is that final round out. Victor locked in. Okay, so Victor mid, we're assuming.
Yeah.
Obviously the Ziggs will go bot. And that Shen again was support, as you pulled out earlier, Jack. So we do have, I mean, where the hell do you start with this? We've got a lot of AP damage outside of Yike on KC.
Yeah, the AP damage is a bit of a worry.
Outside of Shyvana, obviously going to probably go for that Shojin build that we've seen.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how Shyvana's damage profile is, but I know it's definitely leaning towards more magic damage. So it does make me worry a bit that if T1 starts stacking that MR, they don't really have any big beefy frontline, but Sinsao can get quite a bit of MR, Camille can do the same. So it's something to be worried about if you're KC, but it's not like they're playing into a Sion Cassante that can become completely unkillable.
I actually love the KC draft here.
Sorry, I was doing something
coming from
well
T1.
ago.
It's a
My bad.
combo, right?
Yeah.
The Victor ult, double the Ziggs ult, double the Shyvana
Well,
ult. If those three things stuck on top of anyone from
maybe
T1,
they have a
except for the
they have a
Shot perhaps,
plan.
that somebody instantly dies. I feel like that's what Karmicor were really good at doing versus AJL, turning their numbers advantage into one skirmishes.
Wait,
so right here
can
with
you
the
hear me?
wombo combos and the very quick spikes of
Like
damage
it's working now.
through the AP profiles, I feel like they've got a
feeling T1 had their number at MSI. As we run into Summoner's Rift, it is KC's home arena, and they've shown that home crowd advantage has had major effects. T1, they always like the underdog story if it goes towards them as well. They don't care.
I mean, so I kind of prefer the T1 draft, at least with how I see it playing out.
Okay.
I think
Do
they
have
really
Vayne?
good pick tools
They
to
don't
be
have
really
Vayne.
annoying
They only have
against
Victor.
KC. We're just starting off with a fight.
Face taking a half HP, it's in a bit of
Wow.
trouble. Walk shot, we are going level 1.
What is happening on level
Saves
1?
Yikes alive with that as well. Yeah, who's just an onlooker at this point is T1. Commit a little bit.
Wait,
Flash, ignite
Winter.
down for Carrier. No flash for Yike.
The important thing there for Yike is he still started the E, so he's still going to be able to start his camps even though he starts
Yeah,
incredibly
but
low
Yike
HP.
already
if he was
used his
forced to
flash.
recall there, it could be tragic, but we're not finished.
We're not indeed.
Wow,
they're going to find the stun up as well. Hailblade's
they're
through.
playing
Big shadow
aggressive.
from Crucio as well. Carrier getting low HP, but Yahu's health matters more. Faker with a HP advantage massively. All pots burnt from Yahoo.
Why are
Getting
the
a big trade from
supports
Carrier.
only?
And this is a Halo
Victor
played
team,
Shen from
okay.
Busio. He is ready to match the fist fight that Carrier wants to pull out on this
Oh, he's
Camilla.
flashed. He's flashed. Busio's flashed. He's in now, no matter what. Once get Faker's flash, get him out of the lane. Wait for the shadow dash. There it
What?
goes. Busio committed.
Why are they burning each other's
Now
spell?
he's going to have to get the hell out of lane a third time.
And the big question mark has been always, can you match Carrier? And he's roaming around the map. Busio with a super proactive level 1 has been incredible at taking names. And right here, flash off of Faker is pretty huge because
Shen
we saw
flash
Yike
doesn't
with
always
super
do it.
creative pathing yesterday versus AJL, where he
Oh
planned
my
play.
God, such a charge.
Okay.
Avoided, he gets on out, but really survived. For now, Carrier's going to let him go. No flash burn from Kalist, but this Camille pick is level 1 and has had the most impact I've ever seen out of a level 1 support.
Yeah, this is why
Yeah.
I say most teams should not be picking Camille, because this is
So
how
that's
you
a
need
good
to play.
trade because
And
Syndra is
T1 and
okay.
Carrier are one
They
of the
need
few people
favor,
that can
no
actually
flash.
pull it off. You need to be proactive every second of the game. But as we take a step back, as we slow down the game a little bit, what I was saying about the draft is T1 have a lot of range. They have the Jace poke, they have the scatter the weak.
Okay,
As
Carrier
they
trying to
cannot
pick
do that.
off
Busio is getting chopped.
Busio.
Seismic shove someone. Busio at half HP again. Okay. Carrier looking for another angle. Yike under threat here. This flash was burned earlier on.
There's Yike.
Carrier,
there's Yike. There's Yike. Carrier.
Wow.
Well, the one doesn't know she already burned his
had already backed and had an extra long shot in his inventory. He was looking to fight for himself from down bot lane with a priority. Carrier dying here kind of backs up the plans of Owner. Yike is still going to go towards the top side, and Owner is
actually not really familiar with cases.
Going to Lee
Yeah, I think
like,
Carrier
team is he
due to the
before?
fact that Yike was so chunked level 1 that his clear would be more delayed.
Yeah.
So he would have time to play in that 1v1 up against Busio, but he didn't have it, and he ends up going down. It's a first blood for Yike, and a great start for KC.
Feels like a bit of relief for KC's bottom lane as well, since those chunks were coming through onto Kalista, onto Busio. Bit of reprieve here as Busio. You know that Carrier is invulnerable. Level 2 support, this is the meta we're in.
Both
Carrier looks for more info.
They're both just hungry for blood. Carrier wants to try to zone Busio from re-entering bot side here. And now they're looking towards mid. Yehu wants to try to fix this wave and crash it, but it's a 3 versus 2 for Faker.
Here comes Owner, Scout of the Week, not going to connect. Yehu is safe then.
It's about pressure.
A couple of dark spears, Faker gets the chunk out again.
I don't think they can fix that wave at this point. I feel like they need to be a bit patient. Yehu, he's going to go back to base and come back.
Good thing you're here on my stream.
You're still going to be there.
You can explain
so
things better than me.
I mean,
yeah, I
will
cannot
need help
explain things
with what Faker is doing here. Freezing it
Low
almost right in front of his tower. However, the positive thing right here for Yehu is that now...
Good job. Hookshot, walk shot, Kalista in trouble with a satchel. Bit of a buffer there after the stun. Carrier getting involved in his own lane yet again while Boostio's looking towards top. Doran half HP. He's got flash, but when will he burn it? Shadow Dash is waiting. No flash here from Boostio, so he's waiting to time it.
Okay, Doran already
Not
flashed.
Maybe thinking the wrong angle.
I think Busio kind of tried to go for the predict there just after Doran flashed. And thought he would flash more up rather than just to the right. Still though, Busio being incredibly proactive on the map here, getting flashes all across the board, helping out his mid laner as well. Although the fact that Yehu had no TP and the wave was frozen, it means that Faker now, with a really big CS lead, nearly a full level up on Yehu, and not the start that KC was looking for in the middle lane.
Solo lane's doing pretty well here. Doran, you know, finding his mark in the lane as well. Even though Kana gets a bit of a support, that's a pushing wave top, so Doran should be up a little bit. The supports
are still level 2, by the way.
They are not leveling anytime soon. They're trying to sap mid. Seismic shove, though. Look at Pays. Onto Kalista, he gets chunked out.
Almost.
The mage allegations we come into today, wondering how he's going to play. So far, he's been bullied quite a lot here by T1's bottom side.
This is actually worrying me a lot. Syndra, Talia, Jace are so good at creating so much space and hitting you from Mars, basically.
Yeah, great range.
So if Yike or Kana cannot get on top of the backline, this will be really problematic later on. T1 is first and objective right now.
But I'm watching.
They want to try to
I just can't read the chat.
But Kalista doesn't have the teleport. Oh, Yike jumped over. I don't know if he meant to do that.
He get a sonic wave, but now he's going to flash away. Hookshot, wall shot.
Okay, first dragon will go to T1.
Summoner, second time in 6 minutes.
I'm not sure if he meant to do that. It looked a bit like a misclick, but maybe he just wanted to look for the steal, ends up just burning the flash. Not the end of the world for him. It does mean, though, that once he gets to level 6 here on the Lee Sin, it's going to be more difficult to try to make any sort of play, but now they're invading the Raptors.
Faker is level 6, so unleashing power possibility, but the flash Shadow Dash. Faker has to flash away. Where's the Yike going to go? He finds himself after a gravity field goes down. The storm is out. Enough damage finally.
Okay, it's a 1-on-1.
A 1-for-1. A Yike now ticks over to level 6 and is looking for more blood.
And Yike's Q there got cancelled by Faker's Scatter the Weak. I thought the play might turn ill for KC, but they still had so much damage with Victor's ultimate that they were able to get the 1-for-0. A great play from KC.
I feel like that was a very advantageous play for KC right here. They get to push out bot lane and mid lane at the same time. It was actually Pays that had to absorb the mid lane wave, so Faker did miss out on quite a bit of XP and gold in his pockets, plus another kill going over to the Victor.
I only use Flash
everywhere.
And
whenever I need the
Flash, we saw it before. Going to be spotted on ward for now, and Carrier is supporting this with Owner moving to level 6 after this Krug
and
camp.
then I use heal
So can't
whenever I
do too
need
much.
to heal
Doran threatens Yike now hovering over the wall. Carrier's going to be spotted out, but Sonic Wave is going to go into Doran, taking the resonating strike. Kana looking for an angle. The Dragon's descent over to Lee in fair. Kana
Doran lives. They can get Yike, but Owner is a bit low here, but yeah, they get one.
Down again, or rather the first time in this game. He didn't have flash to
Brandon kasi
escape,
not
but he
worth
hits
my
the dirt.
gold
And
push.
T1 outplay KC
Yeah,
in
yeah,
this
yeah.
skirmish. Only
That
living
one,
on
I
so
know that.
little HP.
But
Yike
just
kicked
that
Doran
one.
away. I thought he could land the Q afterwards to follow up on it, but he wasn't able to do so. And both Doran and Owner escape with their life, and Yike ends up falling.
Both teams are super eager to skirmish. I mean, you only have to look at the support levels. They're still level 3.
Kana has no flash. She's going to be slowed down, moving into hammer form as well. Carrier's game yet again, not perfectly timed, but just perfectly placed. This guy is performing out of his mind. I'm getting some deja vu and some horrible EU feelings watching his support play.
Honestly, if you're anyone apart from the support, you're so frustrated because you're constantly playing
Like
one
you're
person
dying,
and whichever lane you
Kyle.
end up on. And here is the scar of the week that Jack was talking about from Faker that cancels the Q from Yike from landing. 1 for 1 at the end of the day. Faker goes down.
So what?
Let's see this one more time. That's from Yahoo's perspective right
What
here.
is the
Really
previous team
nice
of
hold,
Yahoo?
constantly surrounding all 3 members of T1. Gets the kill for himself too. Really great start, especially on the stacking mid laner.
That gravity field well placed as well, so at least Yahoo gets one back as he's talking about a bit of a gold lead coming through from Yahoo now as well. Kalista in a bit of trouble to come back alive. Good satchel charge, cool shot, walk shot interrupted. Busio, the saving grace Shen. As Pace looks for an angle as well. Yike picking his target. Faker's a little bit low as Safeguard gets Yike out of the way after the unraveled earth. Gravity field for zoning. Carrier. We were in a replay, but he was probably the one that looked for it, let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, T1 are pressuring KC off the map here. Kalist gets chunked. There's not going to be any kills on the board for T1, but I think you're starting to see them slowly take over the map. Pace is face taking.
Trouble.
Okay.
Going to be a nice little shadow dash. Chaos Storm comes out, but Pace flashes as Yahoo drops it all.
Really good
He's
cheese from
alive.
Busio there. Just sits in the bush. Pace
Alam
doesn't
nila
expect
Shiva
that
na
with the
na-escape,
Hex
kaya
Flash.
nila 1K.
They get his flash. And you can see both supports, I think, playing really, really proactive this
Since
game.
he doesn't
I'm
have
really,
flash.
really happy with how both supports are playing. Carry is finally showing the strength of this Camille support, but I feel like Busio is kind of matching him pound for pound, finding his own angles as well.
Wala rin siya.
The story of yesterday's game for KC when they looked so good versus AJL
Dash out sa gap.
was Yike and Busio linking up and basically not allowing AJL to make any plays. Carrier is one of those supports that is just so hard to track down, and I feel like Busio has been doing a
Kaya ganit na
fantastic
gamit yung
job
mga
at
flash
tracking
nila.
them. Sure, some of the skirmishes are not going to go their way, but so far both
secure
supports have been
kill.
super damn proactive on the map, and they have landed a bunch of kills for the team.
I think the annoying thing is Kerry is so independent as well. It's like, we talk so much in League of Legends about jungle support synergy. I feel like a lot of the time Kerry is just building the synergy around him with his initiation. And for now, 3 out of 3 KP for Carrier, 2 out of 2 KP for Busio, the cornerstone of this game number 1 at EWC 2026. We look towards what's up. 30 seconds for the Dragon. T1 got the first. Setup is deep vision here on the bottom side, while Owner looks to be clearing this top camp, maybe getting a quick reset in so he gets the Thunder Sky slash Titanic, and then move towards that second strike.
And pretty much all of the gold lead on T1 is sitting on Doran
Press
right
yourself,
now,
no
having a
way they
fantastic
flash
performance on this Jace.
Oi, angle.
Although Kana is looking to
Yeah,
try to
I'll
cheese
try
him
to do
here,
that.
he does have Yike and
Thank you
Busio
for
on top
that
side of the map.
advice.
So even though Doran has full vision, if Kana gets the ultimate, they might be able
Oh
to
my
get
god,
onto
this
that.
is
But
sick
now he's
down.
got a flash preemptively. Doran thinking, hang on a minute, they're on a ward.
But
Where the hell is
Doran knows
Kana?
that
Dragon's
there's
descent, gonna get the
two
fleet of
there.
flash from Yike, but it's a match. Doran wants CC
Can
now,
he
taking the
escape?
wall. Shadow
No, I don't think he can. But at least he got one, right? At least he got one. Like,
One in him too.
Yike tanks 1, 2,
am I
3
correct?
tower shots
It's a
with
bit
few
good
misses.
feet. Yeah. I knew it.
1 for 1. That's a fantastic trade for the top laner of T1, and Kana takes another tower shot. I don't think a level 4 Camille can threaten a level 9 Shyvana, but T1 on the other side are more than happy to take the favorable trade top and the dragon.
Yeah, KC, they recognize that they're not strong enough to try to fight for this dragon, but the cross map does not go how they would have wanted it. Just the
T1
1 for 1 here. It's a nice attempt
Listen
by
and
Yike.
get
He wants to flash
dragon.
over
Oh,
and then kick
yeah.
Doran before he's out of the CC chain from Kana. But Doran has time to flash. He dashes onto Yike, realizing that he's tanking tower. He's able to trade 1 for 1 and remove a lot of that cross map
That's
power
really
from
wrong
KC
talaga.
and making it a really good trade for T1.
It's so contrasting to MSI, where Doran was really copping it. And again, from the community, took so much bad feedback as the reason that T1 were finding their
Kahit namatay si Jace,
failure.
nakuha niya
Here
LS and
at
Owner
EWC,
tapos nagbago.
it's a completely different Doran.
Yeah.
As we said, he's up
That's
in gold.
right.
He's clawed back some of the missed out from the trade kill, but regardless, Doran 2-1. It's a good story as top gets pushed in with Faker. Moving up to rotate lanes, and Busio now level 6, by the way. Stan United is trying to get proactive as well.
12 minutes in.
Yay, we got
Shen
6.
ult coming up,
There
which
is
is
the
kind of
same.
huge. On the Thunder Sky, on the Shinza right here, I feel like it's so important that Owner is allowed to build Thunder Sky first instead of like
Mga ganyan na
Hydra,
game, answer
because he
question
has a
dito.
lot of champions that want to play directly on top of him, does not need the Titanic Hydra to stick onto his targets, because his targets are sticking onto him anyway. So earlier power
So
spike for the
there's two
Shinza.
on top
I'm pretty
lane
sure that Owner
again.
can look into fight.
Again, trying to
From
get
Faker with the fancy feed. He's got a turret
Faker,
under
but
him now as
getting
well. Gravity
stunned.
field. Not going to be slowed down, not going to be stunned. Another Sonic Wave, but that one's going to miss. Owner's coming to cover. Casey have to leave.
Casey keep looking for these
Watch Muna how
plays.
they-
And Busio
Yes,
is
sir.
covering for Keria, but
yeah, he's got no mana. He's deep in this wave. Flush
Okay.
away from me.
Yeah, no flash.
Meanwhile, hook shot, walk shot, ultimate, Hextech ultimatum, on down to Kana. He's got no dragon to run on out. He's got the shield, the Aegis, saving him up. The Shen ulti as well, but an auto.
Oh, they secured 2 kills. Let's go. Let's go, Doran. Let's go. Let's
and
go,
it's a disaster
Doran.
for
Let's
KC.
go.
Pace, he has the move. We've seen him be so proactive consistently on this Talia. As Faker wanted to be a bit cheeky, take away the blue buff, but now they're keeping back in on both.
TP, so it's not going to be dodged, but Doran just jumps under. He's looking for his next kill. Meanwhile, carries the flash on Amber. Pace covers the tank up, but 2 turret shots will be fine as well.
Oh no,
And
Keria
yes,
is
he
dead.
might die,
I think he's
but
dead,
it's
yeah.
more blood over to the carries.
Like,
that
no
matter
escape
in
at all.
T1.
What a heartbreak for Yehu right there. TP's right
Satchel.
off the tower versus 3.
No
Taking
mana.
Ask
Faker's
a question,
running for his life.
Saya.
Looking for a shadow dash. Owner's coming
What
to cover, so that
question?
play on Faker will be mute.
I think we're starting to see some of the problems of KC's team comp. As how I would describe their team comp.
Why
is
they
it's very
don't
honest.
hesitate to dive.
You only really fight them if you are
Victor?
engaging with a fight with them. They have such short range engage with the Shyvana ultimate, with the Shen taunt, that it's only really going to be a fight on T1's terms. While
They have number
the Talia ultimate
advantage.
to generate space. They have the Camille engage that can be so long, but now Kana finally with a TP behind Doran, no flash.
Dragon's Descent, this might be under the turret. He's already committed a TP for this. Kana's thinking, do I dive, do I not? Yike's probably calling it off, and there you go, TP now burns.
Is this
Faker has
exam?
a wave in top that, yeah, he has to go and manage, but there are no more TPs
Maybe
outside
he
of
doesn't
Kalist
have
on KC.
his-
That was a really nice communication right here. I think it dropped from Kalist. They pinked instantly
Ultimate?
Talia falling into fog of war.
I'm not
So
sure,
Kana gets
but-
to don't dive this one. And now we'll see again. Shen is literally in front of them and also gets interrupted by the Talia, right? It's not like an extra person got into the fight to make it a 3 versus 3. So unfortunately, KC lose the skirmish in numbers.
And a big problem there as well is just Kana's not strong enough on the Shyvana. He still doesn't have his first item, but KC found Pace.
He's got nowhere to go. He's got a flash, but he gets
Pace
kicked in the
is
wall before that
dead.
happens. Shut down. He doesn't want to burn it, and so he'll get punished.
Really clean CC chain there by Yike. Gives him no opportunity to flash with Kalist. Does he have the satchel?
Kanina yung
Front
son
of
of
face of
Victor burn
Owner,
his flash
but
of top
expects the damage won't be followed up. Kalist still holds onto his flash as T1
No
try
flash,
and choke
and
the
they have
surroundings
the
of Herald.
Kalist needs to be really careful here in rotation. Keria can easily solo kill him. He has the Sundered Sky.
Scatter doesn't work out. Look for Kana. No TP. He has to reset and walk there, but the play's going to be
Yeah,
called
well,
off.
I
T1 have a
escaped
ward.
skills
They
in
spot it.
the-
They see it going down. They disintegrate their play. Yike's going to get Herald, and it's a decent win for KC.
Yike has been active this entire time. He's got
This
100%
game is a bit
KP
better
at least in
than
every single play for KC.
HLE
The
versus
Golden
T1
Eagle has started from
T1
Yike.
match
We
yesterday,
actually
the
had a lot
first
of question
match.
marks. We've seen that Lee Sin banned versus KC, and we talk
Flash
about the
and
fact
dash
that
TP,
when
kaya
Yike
basically.
comes to mind, Lee Sin doesn't. It's more like a Kha'Zix or something, and he has been doing fantastically well on the pick. That Talia pick on the top side resulted in the Rift Herald, which could open up that mid lane that will make it very scary
Pero
for
yung kay
champions like
Jace may
Talia and
pressure
Syndra
ba kaya
to step up for a
naka-breach
win.
siya sa-
Yeah, I agree with you, Trouble.
Yes.
Yike's had a phenomenal game on Lee Sin thus far. And KC, they have some good news and some bad news. Kana has the Triforce, but Doran has Mana Mute.
Oh, no.
So 2 items on Doran now, 2,500 gold lead, but KC, they still want to try to contest this 5 versus 5. They need to find and engage fast before they get poked out.
Look for the Doran poke. Speaking of, Pays walking in. Kana with a Dragon's Descent with an angle, but he's spotted out. Seismic shove. He might have to pop the ulti now with a Hextech ultimatum. Kana can't escape. Owner jumps in. Dragon out. Yike gets the kick out, but Keria will live for the Dragon. The health bars not in KC's favor. It is T1 who hold the advantage. Ready to walk in with such a big health discrepancy.
And that's 2 ultimates burned, 3 actually for KC. They're still gonna look to contest here. It's difficult. Keria is not there.
Sonic
but neither is
wave.
Kana.
Lee Sin can steal. Goes for him. Yike.
What?
Owner pops his ulti.
Yike?
Yike will die, but who's next? Doran for the follow-up, finds Busio, but he shadow dashes out, fake up with the range, flex ulti, Busio down. It's 2 members in the ground as T1 hold 5. They lose the dragon, but the fight's coming naturally to them. With Yehu up next, the dive easy. Keria ready to die for another kill that goes to T1.
And KC attempted some fancy footwork to try to outplay that situation, but T1, they have the numbers, they have the damage, they're gonna get the kills, they get the mid tower, and even though they lose the dragon, make no mistake, they're in firm control of this game, as they might even look on Kana here.
Weaver's wall, Kana with no dragon. He's going to try and use the minion wave to stack that up quickly, but a seismic shot pays. Not going to find his target. It is a small movement from Kana to get him out of that kill shot.
Where's Bob?
Miscoordinating that dragon fight. Shyvana goes
Not
out,
really.
Lee Sin goes in, so there was a bit of a back and forth out there for KC.
Yeah,
when the
I don't think it's
who the
super
target was,
weird.
and through getting the dragon.
Here we go.
They've lost 2 towers, mid and top.
Gang squad's got to come in. 16 kills
Why?
in 18 minutes. Want to build that bridge up.
It doesn't matter
A little bit
yet.
further away. Doran
They
has
only
a
have
big
one, and
bounty
then
on his head. If they
they
can take him
lost
down, a bit more gold for
how many
KC.
people?
We look towards mid. Kerry's been tagged out. Kalist
might be
looking for the
trouble.
chokehold. There's the ulti. Going to bomber him a little bit here as a slow down. Kerry about to hit the ground. Meanwhile, KC finding a play. It's Kerry down first as Pace gets a little bit low. Yike, low on the energy. Busio, low on the health. He too will drop. It will be a 1-for-1 with both supports biting the dust.
Both top laners TPing in. It's just a 1-for-1 for supports. You're starting to see
Viewers
the
today to commit
sacrifice that
power
both
into
supports made here with all these
yeah.
roams. They're so incredibly squishy and they fall down so fast. As we head into the replay here and watch this dragon fight, as Yike finds the steal, very, very nicely played by him, jumps out, but then after this is just T1's fight. They're able to chase them down. Faker flashing over, getting the ultimate up to Busio, taking him down, and a nice sidestep from Cloyster on the Scatter the Weak. And Yehu sidesteps the shuffle from Pace as well, but he still ends up falling with how much damage T1 has.
Come back to live. It's no dragon, but it's Baron coming through. Dragon's descent. Instead, we get a fight. Sonic Wave dodged by Keria. That was smooth. He ulties to dodge Yike, then flashes out.
But flash is so important for that Camille to get the hookshot flash onto vulnerable targets, and Keria will not have it available. Must be a sigh of relief for the next couple of minutes for KC, as they can possibly play a little bit more aggressive over in the mid lane without a tower.
Well, the problem is Scatter's going to hit. Yeah, Faker looking for the charge. 1v1. Hellstorm going to sit on his head. Yeah, who's running for the hills while Pace might do the rest of the work. Faker just accepts that he's not in this fight anymore. Here's Stand United instead. A 2v2 bridging with Faker in the rear guard. Keria comes back. Busio walks in, Scatter the Weak dodged by a Shadow Dash, and now that Shen ulti is down.
I think a little bit preemptive there, Busio with the ultimate. I think T1 weren't quite sure if KC was going to match them with the numbers, so it ends up being a teleport for the Shen ultimate, but you can see how T1 are able to continuously push in all these lanes, and KC are not really able to find a breaking point in T1 formation to actually get pressure off their own, as T1 is matching them every step of the way.
Love our observers zooming in. That is not a Krug, that is a Gromp, but he's got too much health for us to even consider that possibility. And he has not died to Krugs this tournament, so W Doran.
I don't know, man. He's 3.6k up, 5-1 and 3
he's not
that
dying to
chase.
any camp this tournament. Doran is actually so crazy.
The worrying thing is that I don't think he's dying to KC anytime soon.
He could fight like
Unless-
50 Krugs.
Yeah.
At least.
50 Krugs versus Doran. Who wins?
And 2 KC members in the mix, you're
They
right.
could call them, please.
I don't think he's dying anytime soon.
I'm looking
Doran,
at kind of
the
potentially get a
regular.
flank for these fights, because I feel like the range is very worrying, and T1 has been playing so careful here. Busio is looking for the flank.
It's his angle that could change everything. Ona walking over a bouncing bomb. Keria moving into position as well. That ward from KC giving them full information who's in the river. That won't be spotted out yet. Keria looking, feeling that Busio's nearby, but he's still hovering in fog of war. Maybe he's going to stop this back, and that'll be the minimum of play.
Okay.
Mega Inferno Bomb, no. It turns into success. Busio sneaky for a minute, pays off well.
And KC are showing creativity. I don't
Wala,
think we've really seen that much from them in the
nakaprogram na
LEC.
hook the
Really,
door
really
here,
nice
yeah.
moves here from Busio. Yike might have gone a bit too far.
Yeah, it's a little bit greedy, unleashing power from
It's his
Scatter the
title
Weak. Not going to die though.
already.
Faker's ulti now down, but the Raptors are going to go with it. Red buff as well. Full control on this bottom side of the map. 30 seconds before the Drake.
I don't know if I necessarily like that pick right there. You've got no Ziggs ult, you've got no Lee Sin ult, and those are tools that are very scary to try and take over for the next Dragon, which will be so point for T1 if they manage to secure that one. So yeah, really nice flag from Busio, but what do they have to actually use to get back into this Dragon Pit and contest. Yes, it's never 50-50 when Yag's in the pit, but he has to get there first.
For me, this pick and the aftermath of it more just speaks of the state of the game. The fact that you still lose your red buff on both side jungle control, even when it's a 4v5, I think it just shows how strong Doran is. Wherever he goes, it's incredibly difficult for KC to be able to fight, as they're going to try to approach this bot side fight, but all it takes is one powered shock blast from Doran, and I think KC's dreams are crushed.
Level 16, 3-item Jace, Dragon begins.
Other laners
around River with Doran dealing with the wave. KC are a 4-stack. Look at where Kana's coming from. It's still only a Trinity Force, but it's a Dragon's Descent up and available. Don't know how he lost his health, but it's meaningful. At 3k, Lee Sin can have a steal advantage as Paze walls them off. T1 on the third, Drake to pick this up. Dragon's Descent ready and willing. Sonic Wave stolen again. Flash out from Yike. Kana waits. He wants to use that ulti, but when? Use it to disengage. Unleash power not working out. Doran in the middle of a chaotic storm. He'll unleash his combination, but no one dying from KC is a gigantic win.
Absolutely beautiful execution right here. Yehu becomes the wall behind KC and in front of Doran. Doesn't allow the guy with a 4,000 gold lead. He's all the gold lead of T1 to enter that fight, which means KC is now playing in even ground. And when Yike's in the pit, I'm sorry, it's just never a 50-50.
And Trouble, I think we gotta apologize to Yike. I didn't think his Lee Sin was like gonna be it, but he has been playing fantastic this game. I feel like you can tell that KC has a really clear idea of what they want to do in every single fight. As Kana has no ultimate, I don't think he'll be able to chase Doran. Doran is 4,000 gold up. Make no mistake, it's still a very T1 favored game, but KC are giving hope to the crowd here.
They are indeed. How will that be shattered? Or can T1 get it across the line? Baron is up. For KC, as they hover around this top side of the map, it is Faker who continues adding pressure with Paze having immense wave clear through that mid lane as well. Just a quick reset, I believe, from Busio. His Hexac ultimatum, I think, was spotted out. Yuck's going to get the kick out, no scout of the week. Meanwhile, Paze gets choked out by Kalisz. Kalisz has been a quiet achiever this game. 1k gold lead himself. Rabadon's almost picked up. And every time T1 have to face check him, there is significant damage hitting them in the face.
And he's really close to that Rabadon, which is a huge power spike. He took Pace to half HP there with just the Phosphorus Bomb and the Minefield. So when he gets that Rabadon, he's going to be a real threat for T1.
Damn, why is this the best of 3? Oh my god. It's been so enjoyable so far.
Hey, we can complain about this on game 3 perhaps.
Yeah, we can maybe. Right? Maybe we get asked for a duo, ask for a remix, so we can get 4 at least.
Yep. Both teams just agree. Let's play again.
Yeah, let's do it again. I was just going to bring up that Kalisz, I thought he's back into the time being. It looks like he's waiting for mid-wave. Wolves
doing the Wolves.
He's still in jungle.
That's a good sign. That's a very good sign.
He's there, right? You think?
Yeah.
Let's see. He moves back. He's looking for next mid-wave. Owner going to be a threat here on the Scrying Ward. 4 members of T1 moving up. Faker has top push as well. This is dangerous for KC.
Yeah, they're picking Baron right here. This is the classic. T1 will rush Baron whenever they can, even on timer. They're not letting Ziggs get his death cap, and now KC are forced to face check.
This is a TP from Shogun recently picked up with the Dragon's Descent up and available. KC have blinking health bars against T1, but Baron's going to go down. Now, can T1 escape? Hunter on the chase. Yehu with the Proto Belt. Carrier starts it off with a flash. Owner gets slowed down with
plan to just bring them.
Dragon's Descent.
What?
Fair. Running in Kana.
Okay.
His life, but what's the payout? T1 already get 2. It was revenge, then turned sour as KC fell.
It's either a flank or you can't get on top of it.
Like this is a good shadow dash. Pace going to flash away, but T1 are manipulating the fight. Faker comes in, unleashes power. Kalisz is going to drop. KC thought they could pick the number of the fight, but T1 turn it in an instant.
And it's a tailor's all this time. It's the T1 Baron Nashor. KC wanted to punish them for it, but they ended up walking too far.
This, right?
They didn't have the damage. T1, they built their gold lead from 4,000, double it to 8,000, get the Baron Nashor. They're taking the towers, and with that, you have to feel it might just be game.
Not yet, but it does feel like the door.
Look at top
should
lane,
have a win. Should be a win for
KC. That's outer base. With one Baron right after the fight. There's been no reset right here.
Doran POV.
Look at this.
Look at that. It's a good set.
That EIE absolutely stops KC. That
and I mean, Doran is just standing there auto-attacking Kana. That's how much damage he's doing with this 3-and-a-bit item Jace. As we come back to live, Kana has no dragon. And Faker has all the range and the execution.
Oh,
He's
really?
4-1-4. We haven't talked about him much, but he is hitting shots from the far.
Is
going to
it
be up
like
next.
too early?
And game 1 is in the
Oh,
books.
yeah.
T1 is slaughtering KC here. It's 5 versus 3. They can look to open up the base. I think Faker wants the base. Owner's low on mana, but they really have the freedom to do whatever they want on this map right now.
I don't
think Yike wins this.
I think Doran knows that he wins it. He's going to flash over, kick away, but Doran has a shock blast, an acceleration game to speed him up, and Yike is going to have to try and Sonic Wave and safeguard his way out, but Paze is going to find him eventually as well. Yike will die. Soul will not be there, but Soul point for the stats. T1 will take everything and more, just like they did in the previous fight.
I think it all comes down to this Jace pick. The fact that Doran was able to get it, I think the Shyvana pick that Kana tried to pull out, not been successful. It's not been the Kana that we're used to seeing. He was losing lane. Up and from minute 5, really, never been a strong point in this KC lineup, even though Busio tried to play around him, tried to help him out. They were losing every single skirmish just due to the fact that Doran was so much stronger, and their cross maps were denied by Doran as well. And I think going into game number 2, you really need a winning matchup for Kana, because I think that's the biggest avenue for success that KC can exploit, because we see now if Kana's strong, if he's comfortable, then the rest of T1 are flying.
T1 have been so good at playing with their range that KC have
Just
never really found
the first game, please.
in draft with Ziggs, Shyvana, and Victor all one on top of one another. And they are actually very, very strong. They might look here.
They're going to try and find Doran finally. Mega Inferno Bomb, but he's running for his life. Here comes Paze with the Weaver's Wall. The kick up against wall. Doran finally going to dive down over to Lee Sin. But meanwhile,
Paze just
in tatters with 2 carries. Running amok. Kaliz can't even get on out while KC going to try and fight. But meanwhile, Paze is just taking over. KC getting destroyed. Owner's going to find the rest in base. Carrier is smurfing as the dragon comes out. But just like in the end of Skyrim, it will be slain.
And there's a lot of fighting. To be honest, if I'm going to cope a little bit here, this was not that bad for KC. This could have been the end of the game here, but due to the fact that Faker died and Pace died, T1 will not be able to do anything much more than getting the top tower, the mid inhib. Don't get me wrong, it's still 12,000 gold lead.
Yeah.
But the Nexus remains
still
alive.
up. The Nexus is up. We've already seen once in this tournament the Nexus being up, the most important thing. So, you know what? We can cope for a little bit longer before T1
I'll give you more.
bring us.
It's only the middle inhibitor that's fallen. And it's the easiest one to defend.
And Owner might be overstaying here. As we head into the replay, let's see this. I mean, they go for Doran. They recognize that if they just let T1 siege, they're going to be completely outmatched. A really nice flash Sonic Wave there from Yike to catch on to Doran. And they take him down. Pace goes to help out his teammate alongside Owner, but Kana gets the fear onto Pace. He's able to take down Pace alongside Busio, and this really saved the game, because if Pace lives here, he can just join Carry in the middle lane, and they can just end this game together.
Also, meanwhile, huge play from Kaliz taking out Faker, because
so much damage.
Yeah, him and Carrier would have probably ended the game right there. They had the numbers.
They don't
in the
have
base. The TP coming looking for Doran again.
I mean, finding Doran again, still
Shen?
bit of gold on his head. Kana waiting for the Dragon to send. Good Shadow Dash, and the Ray comes through from Yahoo. They get the kill again. Kaliz is also able to defend the mid-wave. Guys, let's cope more.
I'm telling you, this wrapped down bot lane can hold waves forever. KC could potentially be pushing out the waves constantly. As long as Ziggs is alive, it's really hard to push.
It's a great pick from KC, but Kana might be the one caught now as Pace is ulting behind. They're TPing. KC want to fight.
Shen's on the way as well. TP advantage going to bring in the numbers here for KC. Kana survives for now as well. Puts out that Dragon's Breath. Yeah, who's going to die first? I feel. He flashes away. Owner looks for him and burns him down. T1 are taking a 2v4. They need to kill Owner, but they can't do it. And
oh my god, what the heck?
Owner has help. They 2v4'd that. They took down 2, and his Carrier
Can he get
3.
another?
It is Kaliz next up with a Hextech automated. A triple kill for a Camille support.
And Pace played that so incredibly well. Kaliz tried to be the hero for KC, but it's not enough. Faker's going for the end. Yike wants to try to save it. Maybe the game isn't over just yet. Let's see the death timer. It's 15 seconds on Yahoo.
Don't look top, Jack. Don't look top.
Sonic Wave.
I think
Golden
Faker might be dead.
You're right. He's probably dead. Unleashes power. Yike has a GA, a second life. Oda comes on in. Never mind. It might not be enough. Yike, the last to fall. 41 kills in game 1 of our semi-finals at EWC. T1 know how to put on a show, as they're not done quite yet. Faker a little bit low. Bucio's defended. It's a shutdown on Carrier, but Owner's on the Nexus. It's only a best of 3, but T1 in the heads of Paris for free. A shutdown shot, but T1 destroyed in game 1.
And T1, they shut down the Paris crowd in game 1. It was hard fought by KC. Some really nice creative plays that we haven't seen from them in the LEC. They tried and tried as they may, but T1, as always, they remain.
I feel like T1 were just so methodical. KC was finding the skirmishes that didn't necessarily
Ziggs
result
lang
in much.
nagdadalo.
Like,
Yeah.
he stole 2 dragons. That didn't result in much. They got the Rift Zone. Didn't result in anything.
Yeah.
T1
They
were
should
so
draft for
firmly
better.
ahead this entire game, and they knew they could just win through sheer range.
They should
and,
pick a better
double
draft.
TP right here.
Next
Two very
game.
squishy carries from KC in the midst of a Xin Zhao. Not that great.
I mean, Owner holding the knock up there.
Yeah.
So as soon as Yahoo TP's in, he gets knocked up and gets pretty much one-shot. It's just, you see the mechanical prowess on this T1 roster in every single team fight. And
T1
KC, they were able to match
hyper carry
80%, 85%.
But not 100.
It's not good enough.
It's not good enough. They've got to step it up even more. A commendable game from KC, but it is a best of 3 with T1 moving to match point, as Dagon is going to tell us how bloody good T1 is.
First, let me start with how great that TriCast is. First one here at EWC. Great job, y'all, as it is T1. After a fantastic start by KC, they were rocking and rolling. T1 then put the clamps down and stopped the fun that the fans were having here in France.
I mean, it was bloody game since like level 1. I think they tried to force the flash from level 1. We could see 2v2 in the mid lane with the mid lane and support and a lot actions in here, and I think it was just
Parang hindi
amazing
na
game.
ako
But
nakakita ng traditional
once again,
ADC.
they underrated
Yesterday,
Doran.
there's
you know what
the
happens
traditional
if you
ADC
open up the Jace for
pick.
him?
What happens?
Yeah,
Let's
between
see.
T1 and
Let's see.
Asiali.
So this was an attempt from KC to
Gumayusip
capitalize. Doran
pick
had been ahead in lane against
during
the
the
Shyvana
first
pick.
game,
Even
he
with the shock blast
picked-
missing,
wait,
able to
what did
turn
he
it
pick?
around and make it a trade.
Caitlyn
And then a little bit after
versus
this, we moved
Praise.
down to Doran being on the bot side of the map.
I forgot
And then
Praise, but
setting
I
up
think
a
it's
play on the back
Ezreal.
of Carrier's engage. And he just got
Yeah.
so fed on the back of these plays.
I mean, he was already so far ahead in gold, and I think
And then
the lead
for
that
the
he
second
had,
game
he can just 2v3
of
like
T1 versus
whenever he
Asiali,
wants, you know.
I
So that's why he
think
brought up the
T1
players around him, and I think T1 really did
picked,
well about
AC
using the
bot,
man advantage
but
and
then
also
Asiali still
the item
stick to
power spike
traditional
around
AD.
Doran. I think whenever
Luma picked,
Doran gets the lead,
G.
it was the missing part from T1 because I think they didn't really like try to play around him, but this time around it worked really well.
This is the Doran that we had last year, and especially when supports are more free to play on the map, Kerry enabled on this Camille, able to get Doran so far ahead, and he did so good with that lead.
And you could also see a little bit at the end of that play where KC start pushing a little bit more, maybe a little bit too much. And all of a sudden, it starts snowballing out of control. They find an angle to go at the Baron, and I think it's just a little bit over-eager by KC trying to take this fight here as Kana explodes.
Yeah, T1 get the Baron, start to disengage. Some low health bars, like Pays half HP. Kana's like, I can make this happen. But even though the Fear connects onto Fake, he gets some initial damage. Look at the turnaround, how quickly the Shyvana gets deleted. Yike is quick to follow, Doran shredding through them. And KC
Welcome
quickly
to the
realized
stream.
they were not in a position to punish. The TP flank comes in as well, and it's just absolute curtains for KC in the situation.
It looked really good for KC at the beginning, but in fact, they were really behind in gold. So I think when T1 can actually just be on the same page and to turn around, it was just a great moment for them. And again, I think Shiv is not the pick to play against Jace. And
just
as
watching
Spectra said in the cast,
the
we need,
sadness
I mean,
between
KC
T1 and
needs
KC.
something that you can get the advantage from the
But
top side.
obviously
Otherwise,
T1's
there's no
gonna win
options
the
here.
game.
Yeah, and
I mean, the
and it is a
series.
best of 3, so I am always a fan of trying the gamble there. As soon as the Shyvana came up, you're like, ooh, like how's this all work? I guess this is where it goes. Let's see if this is the trump card that they have ready to go. It really did not work out.
You
And
have a
from there,
kit emo.
T1, as they
Where did you
always
get
do
them?
when they have that big of a lead, start to put on the show and make sure they take care of everything, dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's, and in the process, make quite a show here in France.
It did get a little chaotic. You know, we saw KC looking to punish Doran, but I think towards the later stages, you saw the goal lead they had, and Ona and Carrier were just thriving in the chaos, fighting, scrapping. We have this moment in the top side of the map where,
Pati
crazy
shot
enough, you have your
caster ang
support Camille getting a
nabantik
triple
yung
kill on the back of this play. But there were multiple times where Casey are trying to take out these squishier targets, and Owner is just in the melee, just fighting in the arena.
I mean, this is one of the great games that you can just pull it off with Camille support. I think from level 1, they tried to play really aggressive as support Camille and Shen, like Busho carry out together. But I feel like whenever Shen gets to really late level 6, it's like
Because
it
it's
has
not the hyper
no
carry?
advantage like from picking Shen, right? So I feel like Carrier just had really good game plan overall, and this really helps the team to snowball.
Yeah, something we've seen really successful into the Camille has been the Leona. You know, Jack Spector was talking about how he was expecting the Leona to come in throughout this tournament. That match has been very Leona favored. Instead, going for the
Ziggler doesn't complement
Chief. Like really able to get that much value out of the ult. Later on, they were using it to jump on targets, but I think just having the more solid lane, the more solid frontliner of the Leona would have had a lot of value.
I mean, I think the reason why you're picking Shen is because you can actually look for the kills in lane. I think it has really good kill potential, but with Ziggs, it's really hard to look for some kills because I don't think Ziggs has a burst damage in the early levels. Right? I think they tried to pick Shen away because they could have Talia Shen combination on the bot side, which is such a global ulti, and also it's really like high priority in this tournament, right? So I feel like Camille can still work with the Talia, right? Like Camille does so much damage, and I think you can just still play around the map. But I think T1 had just overall better idea around the bot side.
My nose is bleeding.
Coach Reaper said after their victory against AGAL, it was a relief that it was a.
But my grammar is not grammar.
It helped them realize they are going in the right direction. They were wondering, are we doing the right thing? Am I the right guy? After that victory, it helped. This gamble here did not. He's going to have to go back to the drawing board to bring this Parisian crowd back to life because it roared when it started. But once T1 got rolling, the T1 chants were all over the place here at the STC Arena. After this short piece of content, we're going to come back and see. Will it be T1 closing this one out 2-0, a step closer to becoming the first ever organization to be a 2-time game winner, or will KC push us to game number 3?
Oh, I see. Dahil sa kamilang
Korea, you are either a winner or you're a loser.
This would be the first reverse sweep in an international finals.
History will be made as two
Tapos kapag ng
titans
Shin kaya
collide.
mag-engage. Oh. So, like, even before the game starts, it's like a losing game for Casey because of the champion picks. So, hindi talaga tugma yung shoes at it comes na. Yeah,
I'm here with Knight, who is our only left-handed player in the tournament, and we have a beautiful Lenovo Legion setup here that I was thinking maybe Knight we could jump into game, and then you could show me how your setup normally looks like since you're left-handed.
Shiv is just outcast pa lang na.
I wanted to ask, do you feel like being left-handed has been an advantage or a disadvantage for you?
我觉得没有优势也没有劣势吧，就我用左手跟别人用手是一样的感觉，就没什么区别。
I can see that you got the mechanics down. And did you ever experiment with other ways of like having the mouse and keyboard? So I was wondering, did you start with this or did you at first play differently?
我一开始就是用左手吧，因为我出生就是左撇子嘛，就吃饭什么写字都是用左手，所以玩游戏就自然而然的就用左手。
That's pretty much it for me. I mean, I'd lovely having you here, Knight, and wish you best of luck in the tournament with your left golden hand. And maybe you have some words for the fans that you want to say?
就有些粉丝就一直支持比较支持小
Is the coach the one?
就尽力发
I
挥
mean,
就更好
are
的
they the one
水平
deciding or has the final say with the champion picks of the players? Like, can the player like contest to the coach that they don't want to pick that champion? Am I going to play Valorant later? Maybe, yes, because I don't have work tomorrow. Oh my gosh.
I'm over at the Kiria City Grid
Are you
joined with
crazy?
the lovely Glitter to give us an update
So,
on
sa
what's
T1
happening
talaga ang
championship
sarap
wise
ng
for
pop.
Free Fire.
Or
Yeah, because we are
almost
in our
all
finals right
of
now.
it.
We're only two
Yeah.
matches in on the day.
They now have
It
Coach
was Buriram United Esports and
who's
Twisted
that?
Minds that won the
Easy
first
Hood.
two
He was
matches.
also
So
an
already
SVT player, right?
going
But I'm
in
not
the CC
super sure of
direction, right?
his
But we do still have
lane.
Falcons in
Is
here. We still
he
have AGAL in here. We
an
have
ADC?
RRQ, SAUL. We have
Oh, yeah.
MIBR. So
Yeah,
there are
yeah.
a lot of CC teams that could potentially get some points on the board for themselves. And
But
considering
sometimes they do
this is
experiment, right?
Falcons' last
Like
opportunity
crazy,
this week to really
crazy
do
champion
well for
pick.
CC, this could be big for them.
This has to be, right? But Twisted Mind's actually a great organization to
Taleo
match up.
can
Because
complement
last year as well,
kami.
they were pretty close. They're getting there. They were
Mix
placed
Indra skill.
fourth.
Yeah.
Easy
So
to
if
la-
anything, yeah.
Yeah.
turn things around. But thank you so
Same
much
with
for the
Taleo.
update. I appreciate it. We'll keep you updated, guys. Anything Club Championship report related. So stick around.
After semis, I might play Valorant. I might play Valorant. Shin Burst also complements sa Shin Burst also complements sa Camille ult. Why are you always using the percentage?
KC fell short. I'm Sturkson, joined by Jack Spectra as well as Troubling. We're going to take you through this game 2. Hopefully only a game 2 and not the last one.
Yeah, and if I had to pick an MVP for game number 1, it would have to be Doran.
It would be Doran again.
He carried so damn hard that game. I think he finished the game with a 7,000 or 8,000 gold lead.
Yeah.
And he was just a big contributor. The biggest reason, really,
Di ko alam
that T1
how
was
accurate.
winning matches back to back. And I really
Okay.
think it's up to Kana to step up in this game number 2 to make it more competitive for KC.
And no less, it was a B1. Any B1 has to be the most valuable pick for your team.
Yeah.
And Doran made it work.
Camille's ultimate
incredible
ability
NAR
has the
games,
ultimate is a
and people were
powerful
like, oh
target
yeah,
to
but
block
that's because
down
he's so good at NAR. That's
shields.
why he made it work. I feel like he's been making it work this entire tournament so far.
He really
Well,
has,
active
and
or
look,
basic
you know,
attacks
on the
no
side of KC,
significant
let's
bonus
be
magic
real,
back.
the Shyvana wasn't able to
Read
punish.
one
We
na
know
lang.
Kana as one of our best laners
Thank
in the LEC.
you
That's
for
his strength.
sending
But it's
that.
not Merwin.
But he's not Mirwin, where Mirwin, at least in the 5v5s, can turn the value. Shyvana's now off the board for what that is worth. As Renekton, one of the first bans we go on to pick a ban game number 2. Akali also going to match there as well. Nocturne by KC, really worried about these owner junglers.
Yeah, one of the things that me and Trouble talked about after game number 1 is we think this should be a much slower game for KC, especially because they were kind of getting outpaced, I'd say, by T1. They tried to match the pacing, but now I think it should be slower, more methodical for them. As we'll see if maybe the Casio will be the first pick for T1 here, especially with that Syndra being taken out.
And Jarvan also,
another
right?
one.
That's an owner pick. And Casio, obviously, with Syndra out the way, Orianna banned becomes their primary pick. Really hard to find a counter for,
Same
especially with
with
Akali banned on the first 3 from the side of
460%
T1. And let's see what Yahoo has in store right here to play into the Casio. Hasn't necessarily been an easy
Ayan
lane
kung
for him.
gift ka. I'm not
T1 took away the Akali as
Meh.
well that we've seen into this Casio. Is it just going to be the Silas like that? I'm not a huge fan of picking Silas before you see the ultimates, as I don't think the champion has enough value if it doesn't have great ultimates. And we'll see what KC decide to pick up. The Anivia, I mean, we've seen this Anivia quite a bit.
Got it yesterday.
I think
Big
Anivia
factor.
works very well here into the Cassiopeia, can be really annoying with all the slows, and it's the Bard. I wanted to talk about the Bard earlier. I mean, Bard, both for Carry and Busio.
Oh, so Casey decided to get Carrier's Bard.
Busio prided himself on being best Bard
in the LEC.
First he was best Bard
They
in the NA,
got
then he was best Bard in the West, then he was best Bard in the LEC. Just a
So maybe Faker
highly
is
competent
casual.
Bard, and I think taking it away from Carrier makes a ton of sense.
Not
but now you have
phase,
the Jarvan,
right?
as you talked about, Trouble.
I'm seeing a lot of comfort for KC rather than trying to structure something. I think that is the correct way to possibly play that game too. If you want to play a little bit slower, give comfort to your players.
Why do you have a lot of
Jarvan,
cute
of course,
emojis?
makes a super strong.
Where do you
one-two
get
mid
that?
Jungle, and what they're gonna just pair this up with, because there has been some
Speak.
support sliding in.
Who speak?
on 3 here,
Like
but
T1
just
speak.
not
Oh,
full
Dara on Ambessa. Let's
Ambessa
go.
blind here.
Full top side?
Ambessa, I think, is a very, very strong champion, especially with the fact that they banned
Anivia.
not a whole lot of answers.
I mean, I will just say you can also flex that Anivia up
Right.
as well for the Ambessa early. How annoying is it with the long cooldown?
So
I would
streamer.
assume that as the game progresses, that would be pretty scary for the Anivia, especially once that Ambessa gets level 6
Rar,
in the
pick
side
both.
lane. As long as she has
Comment
that
ka
double
based on your
execution. I love
knowledge.
the Astral for Kalist. He's been so good on it.
Especially
as
against
well. Yeah, it's great into the Jarvan, great into the
I
Ambessa,
don't have
good
any
into the Cassio
knowledge.
as well. And it's also kind of a takeaway from Pace. We saw Pace absolutely smurfing on the Astral as well. And Astral bar.
So Kalist decided to
Both
go
of them love to play against each other. Astral can just clear waves, Bard can go roaming around, and
to
Busio
go
can do what he does
Eza,
best,
like
working with his jungler and helping out his team.
yeah, he can build AP or AD for Eza.
At EWC, so he has another chance to do
Depending on the
that. And this is a very
situation.
characteristic structure of draft for KC. We're very used to seeing them pick their entire top side in the first 3 for a couple of drafts now. So they have broken that standard just a little bit. So now they need to try and emphasis on try and ban Keria out. And
So if I win, pasok na Coach Kurt. Okay.
However, Keria has
What
been
do you
a lot of
mean,
things wrong,
Kurt?
from Leonas to Nautilus to any of the traditional
Pasok na Coach
supports,
Kurt.
if you will.
Why does your chat look like that? Like it has a highlight, like a purple highlight.
I wonder if they want to try to take out some enchanter supports, perhaps.
Oh, because you redeem
Hyper
highlight.
carries for T1
Okay.
could be an option, unless they want to send the Cassio down in bot lane. I think they're going to put the Cassio in mid lane, because Cassio into the Bard and Estral, especially after level 6, once Bard
Wait.
gets that Tempered Fate, is going to be really, really annoying for the Cassio to play into, as you also get outranged by the Estral. So I think something that can have some either engage into the Estral or match that range, something like the Jhin, as we've seen quite a bit.
Wait, Jazid.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Caitlyn Karma-ish.
You said you're gonna.
I feel like Karma is very empowering to the job.
Oh, you subscribed? I didn't notice. Thank you.
And it is definitely one of those lanes that
Ah, yeah, I
challenge
remember
any
you
sort of
subscribed
lane,
before.
especially since you leave that
Thank
Caitlyn alone down ball.
you.
She's pretty happy to farm in the early game and then start hitting those towers later on.
Wait, Jazid. You said that if I win later, since I picked T1, you're gonna surprise me with what?
Unless they go for mages again.
Yeah, we'll have to see, but Doran being set up for a lot of success here. 3 top lane bans.
What
Targeting
is it?
Arcana. We'll have to see
What
he can
is
play
it?
against Ambessa now with
He was
Vayne
gonna win
far
already.
out. I would love to see something that's a winning matchup that he can look to abuse, but
I'm
they
quite
might have
nervous
banned all
with
the-
Like a showmaker copy pasta?
A showmaker copy pasta. Oh, a Cassante. But he doesn't play Cassante in the LEC. He nearly always prefers the Scion. He's going for the Rumble. I like it. I like it. It has a lot of damage. It has a great laning phase. He can look to abuse it. He had a great Rumble game yesterday. Has the equalizer. The thing that KC need to round out this comp is really some good engage, because they don't have a lot of consistent CC.
So what's the final support then? Because you're assuming this Caitlyn gets locked in.
And it's
You have
Karma.
2v2, and it's going to be the Karma, as John
Yeah.
said earlier.
If they go to Caitlyn, Karma makes a ton of sense. Karma's also great into the Rumble, because as soon as he puts down that equalizer, you can do the mantra. If it's a Sivir, I'm assuming a Sivir, Nico, Sivir, Lulu would make a lot of sense here.
Engage,
So that's what they go for.
Very, very traditional, and for Yike, he needs something to set up his team. The only thing I can think of to set up a team is a Skarner, potentially, with a big wombo combo. There's no way he goes back to his roots from Maokai. There's too much HP.
A surprise is a surprise. If I told you already, hindi na surprise yan. Like common sense. Ayan na, comps na T1 ang masabi mo. With T1 comp, hold on. So Pace Korea, they do have good engage comp. Because they have Jarvan, they have
they don't have a great way to
Ambessa,
start fights aside from that Tempered Fate, and they have
and
pretty much no front line. Probably their tankiest member will be the Anivia.
Anivia, yeah.
what can I say?
And they must
more?
have seen this yesterday and thought we can do it better
Keria,
as we
I
go to
mean,
lose,
playing
standing by with
Nico
T1 fans.
is also like I don't know. It's a good pick as well. Like you can just clone owner and Doran just to I don't know, fake their enemies. Yeah, Yuan comes first. Yeah, yeah, I know, right? Oh my god, I'm such I'm such an analyst of this game. Ano pa? Ano pa nahahalata ko? Wait, what's their pick again? Like they have Baker, like there's Poison. If maybe if Jarvan's gonna engage and Ambessa gonna engage someone and then there's Faker, they gonna they can just easily kill the opponent. Maybe because of Faker's poison. I'm not sure, but yeah, maybe. What else? And Severe is like, you know, has
The KC fans always loud, whether it is domestically or internationally.
I don't know. He can just free hit
in the past, but game one is a very different story.
He can just free hit, like he can just build an item that will increase attack. What do you call that?
Those guys are gone.
That one, yeah. I can't explain.
T1 story yet again.
Oh, hyper
on match point versus Europe
yes.
in the West.
That's what I'm gonna say.
They're gonna need that
Okay.
help from the fans, but it's a very different draft in game number 2. It's a lot.
He can
more
easily,
vertical,
yeah,
it's a
Silver
lot
can
slower.
push tower
We're gonna
easily,
see
right?
how
That
Yehu
one I
can
know.
Pressure T1. We're gonna see how Busio can land those tempered fates, and it's a lot of non-committal engage. If the tempered fate doesn't land, you don't have to go for the fight. If Yehu doesn't find the stun,
Early
they can
my
back
J
out.
for
Yike
an
has
Ambessa
so
mid
much
game is
mobility,
Casio
and
and
they have
late
the
game
equalizer as well.
Severe.
The poke from Kalist, they have so much range that I think they can really look
What
to
about
showcase their league
Casey's
IQ.
pick?
I'm just a little bit worried because we saw, that's what I was saying. We saw Tarzan yesterday play Kiana with not many priority lanes, and unfortunately he was trapped inside his own jungle, not being able to make plays for a very long time. Those lanes don't have a lot of setup, and owners now bully.
It's just like last game, and we're gonna have a level 1 fight.
Comes
Yeah,
nila.
we're in the zone on Faker while Busio
So
tries
yung
to
comes
cut
nila
the Carry got really low
complemented.
before. Costa
What
taking
about
damage.
Casey's pick? What can you say about their champion picks?
Yeah, who's gonna take a noxious blast while Faker.
It's my time to ask questions. Why me? You have to answer it. I already answered T1. Wait, what? What?
KC flipped the game at Raptors and they won.
And that's why they call him the Smite
Casey's
King.
pick,
He lands
they
it up against Owner.
have
He wins the
Amelia.
50-50. Busio wants to try to predict the
Okay,
flash.
okay, just
but
explain.
Owner actually nerfs of steel there, holds it. But Yike recognizes
J4
that
is
even
early
though Pace is
for
there
backfire.
first, he has the damage. He can take the bush,
Oh.
buy so much time, and he gets the first blood.
And now, because Nico was so chunked
Invading
down,
Kiana is
Botland's
good.
going to be perma-pushed. As we see the replay one more time. Keria pulls up, but he's super low HP. They have to burn the heal
Hurts
as well.
5v5
Owner,
kaya yung
he's willing
punishment.
to take the 50-50. Well, guess
okay.
what? It is never a 50-50 versus Yai.
And as you say, Trouble, so much credit has to be given to Busio here because he
lost his flash and then he died.
And by so much pressure for KC because the Anivia and Kiana are really, really weak early, and Nico is really strong. So if Busio wasn't able to chunk Carrier like that, then it would have been a really easy 3v3 for T1 to play. But due to the fact that he got that chunk, now Kalist is going maybe a bit too far forward.
Arcane shift, wait for the tangle barbs. One thing's going to be dodged. Carrier looking for the other.
Yes.
Pace taking autos. Lethal tempo. Kalist in Paris on Pace.
He's a top 10 ADC in the world.
Top 10, top 5 with a performance like that.
Okay, calm it down.
I can't. Kalista solo kill Pays in a 1v2, Jack.
He did solo kill Ruler earlier
Listen
in
to
the
them.
tournament as well. An incredible performance by Kalist. An absolute showcase of mechanics there. He recognizes that he wins the 1v2. As now Doran might be in trouble.
Flame Splitter overheating the auto.
Don't tell me T1's gonna let KC win this game just to have like a 3 games.
There's no danger zone damage yet. The Flame Splitter looking to tag him down a little bit more. Doran takes
Just
another.
to give
Now he truly has to leave.
France a
See
good
how
match.
KC are going to have a hard time
I mean,
later on
Paris
as we
a
gain
good
the POV, lands the W, is forward to Proc, weaving in autos, and now he dodges the Nico Q, sees that he connects the first auto and just flashes forward to finish it off. That was nice.
Kalist is so clean on the Astral.
KC comp is
Really
early
nicely played by
with
him there.
early. So they have to
Great
abuse
start
the
for
early
KC
game,
in
right?
game number 2 here. I think the KC fans are pretty damn happy right now.
I mean, I can feel the hype through, Jack. The Kalist kill means so much. The early blood over to Busio, but for Yike to get a jungle lead means so much. Mid also going well here for Yehu as he gets a decent trade down.
Kiana
We
is
saw up in top
glass cannon.
Was not doing too well.
Goes
in the
well
isolated
long
matchup.
term enough. Kiana is glass
He's just
cannon.
pathing around.
Glass cannon, you mean like?
He just got double scuttled by Yike, and Yike still has jumble available.
The egg, the wall in the way, fake.
What?
Taking another shot. He just has to stand there until the wall disappears, but a magical journey. Busio's bar.
Glass cannon, like.
Who will die, but the ledge
he has like a good damage, but he's also
and Yahoo wanted to bait Faker in, but
easily
Faker had a little bit more damage than Yahoo expected there, so Faker's
oh,
able to make it a
squishy
1-for-1.
naman
I don't think there's a dive opportunity here with how healthy Kana is, but Doran at least getting some pressure and being able to crash that wave.
Good girl.
Owner scavenging for any creeps inside anyone's jungle. So he's going to take the Gromp. Yahoo died with flash up. He could have forced Faker perhaps a little bit deeper under the tower to take that egg down.
I mean, he clicked forward because he wanted to bait Faker in, and then as soon as he popped out of the egg, he died. So it's just like, yeah, it was...
I mean, pretty insane.
He had the right idea, but now Doran might be in trouble.
Yeah, we look towards Yike here, looking for the stun. Equalizes down a little bit to the right here. He flashes away.
If they're like champion, like
wall up against him. All he needs is the stun. He finds it. Audacity.
the coach
The Flag Drag not getting a knock up, but Yike's getting auto down to death. Yona looking so close to finding the kill. Yike goes into fog of war, but Ona, all he needs is the flag. Trying to bait it out. Ona has to wait in time, but he gets the auto down with the Q mixed in the bag. Yike will die. Kana will live. He has the wave, and Doran has no team.
Faker's moving up. Kana might be in trouble. Faker's only level 5, though. He's just going to catch the wave. That's not
Flash, Tangle Barbs. Khalees is going to arcane shift out, but a boomerang wave comes in as well. Exhaust down, underpays. He'll stand and find the kill.
What?
Carrier gets a trade with a cosmic binding. And Busio, an auto. 3 kills. Busio.
Khalees and Busio. 2v2
Wala
kill
na napapatap
Pace and
ko yung Yara sa
And I feel like
Kakaligis.
Khalees is showing so much ballsiness.
You mean like the NA streamer that coach became top 30, become Unara's top 30?
The more ego I see from this kid, Jack, the more I think my silly top 5 comment, at least in this game, makes a bit more sense. Historically, no,
like,
but Europe is feeling it. Paris especially. As Kerry looks to face check, sees Yahoo, uses the corner for that. Is Yike. Looks towards level 6. He's half the way there. We can talk about that in a second as we look at the 2v2.
I mean, it's a really nice attempt by Carrier here, trying to land the Tangle
Were
Barbs.
you able to play with her?
And it's the exhaust that comes in clutch. It makes it so that they're able to take down Saber, but we don't have time.
We are fighting again. Busio made the roam first.
Does it mean that you have any account?
4 kills. He's taken all the money.
And he reclaims the title of best bard in the West.
Naisip nakita mo, ginawa ng board after killing
all across the map taking over. Best Polish support we've ever seen as Yahoo gets a push into the mid wave as well. My co-casters shaking their head.
No, I didn't saw it.
Busio, the angle great, but Ona's waiting here. Maybe a bit of a bait on the hunt. Busio's isolated, can't on get out. He flies away, Cosmic Binding Pace. Has to commit, but it's a shutdown for the jungle 1v1. Yike almost finds Ona, but he gets away after the flash, after the Cataclysm. It is a T1 win. As Yike waits in fog of war. That's not the real carrier. Until now, he transforms back. Jack going into the pit, Audacity out. He presses W. It's smooth from Yike to survive almost certain death.
Total support mo ka dapat.
Or attacking Dragon at that time.
What?
Going in deep, it's not done. Petrifying Gaze gets Yike in the back.
I didn't saw it
out, but he's just dead. Faker will take 1. And we have 12 kills at 8 minutes.
And Faker there, he knows that Yike started the red buff.
I didn't
saw
it. I wasn't outside.
We don't have time to talk. Owner's here.
Kana's going to overload though. Doran might be in trouble. Equalizes down. Doran gets out of it with a Drake out step. Here we go. Flames spin auto as well. The 1v1. The flash. T1 revenge. 6 years since his title, but he 6 years of class. He just threw in T1's face.
And Faker died.
Meanwhile, Busio was
Load niya yung wave sa taas, then let it crash siya wave na. Yeah. Someone like told that to me to do that.
KC, they're not putting a foot on the brakes. They keep it going as we watch this replay back. It's Busio with the portal on the Faker. Faker has no flash, has no petrifying gaze, so Khalees and Busio can make light work out of him. That's kind of outplays on the top lane.
In all seriousness, please don't go back to NA. Busio. 4-1 and 2. He's riling them up. Look at the kill count. He might not have all the kill participation, but he started this game and he's really
I don't know the purpose, but I just do it anyway because someone told me. I mean, my previous ADC told me to do that before. Then I wave faces
and having this performance. Bush has been absolutely incredible, and KC have accumulated a 2,000 gold lead, the first lead in those 2 games that we've seen so far.
And it's 3 grubs for KC. T1 looking to try to match it with the potential Drake. But Owner still wants to clear his both side camp.
Sorry.
The Drake.
But I sometimes do that.
I guess not.
Just checking.
First Dragon of the game, Pays, is he in trouble? Boost just
And then some.
down,
Never mind. I don't want to explain.
And with the Electrocute after the Glacial Storm, almost half HP.
But I think we're seeing the difference in composition here, that it's so much easier for KC to go for these chunks, to be really annoying against the T1 lineup, something that they didn't really have access to in the last game, where it felt like they had to go all or nothing in every single fight, and it makes it so much easier to play across the map, as Kana is looking to continue this 1v1 against Doran.
Doing pretty well. He's down in CS, but he's got 2 kills to his name after he survived the 1v2 before. Looking for that excess of Genomite up on that top turret. Will not find it for now. But Kana keeps on pushing up, and that's where also you're seeing a bit of the gold lead happen.
Really importantly, Trinity Force completed for Kalist, both of his summoners up, and with Dragon coming up right here, Boost is gonna reset, and they could probably look to contest.
Extra giving Doran a bit more confidence here. Kana about to overheat out of the danger zone. One more flame spitter would do it, as Dragon's gonna start here for T1.
T1, they have to be careful here. With Trinity Force on Estral, as you said, Trouble. Kalist is so damn strong, but Keria...
Blossom, Keria only finds one, but Arcane shift out. Keria's not going to get a target at all. Yike gets popped out as well. Gary puts the wall down. Supreme Display gets 2, and one that matters, with Keria dropping down.
And Kalist continues to read Keria like a book. He had no vision, but he knew that Keria might look for him. He reacts just in time, and Keria ends up falling. It's a Drake for KC, and it's full map control for KC in game number 2 here.
Bot lane push, mid lane push, Dragon taken, and Kana has been doing a fantastic job at building a lead into Doran. All lanes for KC on full force.
So where does it go from here? 3,000 gold, no objectives up. KC looking for that first item on the Anivir especially, but Yike will be looking to play for that first item as well, as T1 got caught.
Yeah, pops the ult right here onto the Nico Kalist, just ease out. And then that was a beautiful wall for Yehu that forces Keria's pathing towards Yike's ult. That's how they capitalize on him, take the Dragon, push out the lanes. Beautiful sequence by KC.
And the Anivia Kiana synergy, haven't seen that one in a while, but they utilize it so well there.
Yep.
I do think that the one scary thing for KC is the fact that Doran, while he is down 300 gold, he's still scaling very well this game. And as he gets his items, the public execution can have so much value in these fights. And he can really wreak havoc on this backline because there's very little CC once he gets on top of that backline.
Green Bay Raptors, KC looking for their angle once again to steal away a camp. Yike Smite gets it first. Owner does Flag and Dragon. He cataclysms onto Buzo. Magical Journey going to be taken out. Yike decides to switch elements. Khan waiting there for him as well. Electro Harpoon gets a slow down, but there's no more. Crystallized down as well as we look towards 1v1 in the bottom lane. Pays versus Kalist going to happen again. Exhaust down. Kalist in lethal.
No! What the heck?
And Kalist is just styling on him in Paris. The crowd is behind him and he's feeling himself with the exhaust. Solo killing Pace once again.
Let's see the POV. Ease forward, connects the W into the proc, exhausts, pays, and just flashes to style the last auto on him.
In live, the crowd is roaring with Kalist's name. Kameto can't believe he's about to take his headset off and throw it. He's
and this
absolutely
is KC,
unreal.
When KC, they still have more fights here. I mean, the mechanical display from KC here.
Yeah,
this is the KC we saw in LEC. They were able to outplay every single team in the skirmishes. I think their mechanical prowess is right up there with G2. And we didn't see that in MSI. We didn't see it whatsoever, but we all knew that it was there. And I'm so glad that we're getting to see that in EWC, because this is a team that has such a high ceiling as Pace, has no flash here. Boost, he does a lot of damage though. Boost has to back off.
Yeah, that's a one-bit item Pays. So even though he has been solo killed twice here by Kalist, he's keeping up in gold somehow. Credibility, T1 still, it's never out until they're out. I mean, we've got Herald coming up, we've got Dragon. First one went over to KC. But remember again, KC still have to run it home in this game too.
But I hope it should
Yehu has been doing such a fantastic job at depriving Faker of CS. He did something incredible with his wall that forced Faker to walk all the way around his jungle to try and catch a double stacked wave underneath his tower, which he missed a lot of CS off, whilst Kalist was 1v1 in pace down that bot lane. A 30 CS gap over in the mid lane in favor of Yehu.
Yeah, it's been really annoying. The one thing that I think T1 has is as the game progresses, Sivir will get really, really strong, Cassio will get really, really strong, and in a pure DPS fight,
T1 definitely have the advantage, but the fights don't stop.
Booster's going to be cleansed away, has numbers advantage here for T1. Pop Blossom going to come in as a miss. The Scream play talent tries to get Yike out. What Doran's angle is demonic. He doesn't find a target just yet. He's going to flash onto Yike instead. Chilling Smite gets him out. While meanwhile, TP in. Yeah, a bit deep. Petrifying Gaze not going to connect there while KC get themselves out. Yike also alive somehow. That was a close call. Equalizer goes down. Faker is slithering out. Doran now.
Why are they losing if they have a good comp?
Midwave crushing in.
But that was 2 TPs from T1 that KC maneuvered around so fantastically. They didn't have the numbers advantage. Yahoo decided to TP in as well, but Kana wasn't there. It could have easily been a couple of kills going T1's way, but Busio with the portal, Yike being able to escape, it gives KC a 5,000 gold lead here in game number 2.
So a play that's not been a
They
T1
invade, like,
favor resulted in them
the one
getting their red
happened
buff
during the
stolen
early
and their mid lane
game.
push.
Faker's level 9 to Kana's level 12.
Pass flash.
Kana doesn't have his first item yet. I wonder if it's going to make a difference here. Faker, danger zone there, Electro Harpoon. Okay, now spotted out. Kana's going to back away while Yike and Yahoo were moving up this river. Looks like Herald is what they're going to be starting off with, saying Twin come through, but not enough significant damage to change what's happening here.
And the Pop Blossom being invested from Carrier and the Petrifying Gaze and the ultimate from Owner, it just means that this Herald is completely free for KC. They even get a ton of damage on this mid tower. And the luxury of getting this mid tower so low is that you don't have to use Herald on it. You can get this mid tower with just the pressure of a move from a side lane, and then you can invest that Herald into a tier 2 bot or a tier 2 top, or break open the
But I
map.
feel like T1 can still turn the game into their game.
If you open up a side lane tower, Jack said, with the Rift Herald, Faker is in immediate danger, especially since there's a Bard in the game that can come at you from 3 screens away.
Here's TP. Will it be joining for this Dragon that is now on the menu? Casey with the first, as stated before. No one looking at it for now as Owner's clearing topside. And Yike has a lot of camps up as well, so this is going to be a late Dragon Soul game if we do get to it, which again, we talked about T1's scaling, especially with Siva, with Casio. Might be an advantage for them to stall it out.
Yeah, but Kaliz now having the Manamune, the Triforce, it's a classic 2-out. Oh my god, Kaliz.
Of course, he's in again. The Arcane shifts in. The pace damage is unreal. Kaliz now getting on the Owner as the auto comes through. Kaliz dead. More members of T1.
Oh!
Magical Journey going to be used by Busio. I was stunned. Owner didn't even have to pop the ulti at first, as now he walks on in to this river where Casey thought they had the advantage. Doran going to get burned on down.
Yeah.
Carrying it all back. T1 getting chunked. Yike from the other angle. Carrier set packing and pays. Had to use everything to survive. Void flash. Now will finally be coming down as Kana gets in range. Turns him down as well. And if it's not Kaliz, it's just someone else.
And Kaliz might have made a mistake, but Kana recovers the play so beautifully. It's 3 for 1 with KC remaining in control of the game. They're going to get the Dragon, although Busio might be caught.
Petrifying Gaze onto a bar. Should be easy work here. Busio's going to be poisoned down the auto as well. Faker takes it. Cosmic Binding down one more auto.
What?
Busio waiting for his life. The poison flash. Twin Fang from Faker.
That is a flash though for a support, whilst Yike takes the Dragon, which will then make the Equalizer hurt that much more when Faker gets slowed next fight. Let's watch this one more time.
This is the duality.
Kaliz is feeling himself, alright? He is forward, instantly exhausted. He's like, I'm super sure I'll go through items and spiking, but T1 is right there to Avengers style assemble on top of Kaliz, and you have to think all this fight is lost. Psych. Kana comes in and absolutely carries the heck out of it.
That's the duality of Kaliz. It's been criticized a lot for those missteps because they're so memorable, but with that comes the highs that we've seen in this game as well. And in this game, it's not just him who's strong, it's the rest of his team as well. So even if he falters, the rest of them can step up.
5.5k is what I saw before this replay. Yeah. 2,000 people, we were told, can fill this crowd out, and it is filled. Tickets were sold out.
It is completely full.
All the way up. Like, there's like 10 rows of bleachers. They're all completely chonked right now as kind of getting some chunk down on Doran. Here comes Yike. Herald's going to come down. Doran in trouble.
Flash.
Half HP. This shot won't need to land. The Equalizer does a bit of damage. TP out. I don't think Doran's getting out of this one. Let's see. Supreme Display hit the turret instead. I was wrong. Doran gets out, but the turret's now down.
Yahoo.
Flash, Cataclysm, Yahoo, Tempered Fate is going to catch on to Busio, saves his mid laner's life for now. Pop Blossom only gets onto one. Yahoo going to go into the egg, but T1 can't stick around. They use the Cassiopeia to get the damage down. Yahoo drops after a couple of Twin Fangs, but KC unrelenting in their push top while Public Execution already runs into 2. Even under turret, it's risky. Will survive for now, and he keeps KC at bay from taking that into down.
That's a big mistake by Yike there. The fact that he doesn't get the supreme display of talent onto Doran means they can't get the tier 2, they can't get the kill topside. side, and KC, T1 rather, wins in the cross map, being able to take that bot tower and kill Yehu.
All right, T1, they're looking for deeper vision right here. It has been their objective. Carry is also looming around Owner, trying to help him steal those Raptors off. And of course, with a lot of towers going down and Faker pushing out that bot lane, you need to be setting up some deeper vision into the bot quadrant of Yike's jungle, and that's exactly what they tried to do. This is what KC can see. They don't know where Carry is.
Now they do. Going to be spotted out. Yike on the hunt. Here comes Busio's Bard as well. Trisha Barrage going to tag a little bit as that
May chance pa man ako
doesn't even get the tail of Faker, but with the TP in as well, it's full commitment here from KC. 4 members, a Cosmic Binding, an Equalizer, a Tempered Fate. The turret's now down. Faker finds 2 with the Petrifying Gaze. He sits comfy back here with the Crystallize, takes him down. It was hot, it was cold, and now Faker feels nothing.
It's a kill onto Faker, but it's quite fake. There's no minions for KC to use. There's not much for them to do, while T1 are actually the ones able to push in top lane here, while KC has to wait a long time for this wave. So it's a win for KC, but a very slight one as T1 get the cross map.
They'll eventually get the tower, so that's a consolation prize. They'll lose one, they'll take one over in the end. Yike has emptied the entire bot side jungle from Owner, but Owner is doing what Owner does in T1, a T1 Baron.
Minutes. T1 starting Baron. Near spawn. Wrong side of the map is Yike.
True shot is up.
Hayes is trying not to show, but Kalista now going to spot out what's being done. TP going to be channeled 8K. Yike is going to have to beeline it over here, but now all 5 members on T1 on the Baron. What a classic.
Oh
T1
no.
are going to take it, and they're going to
They
get
need
out
to
of
go
place
out.
too. Flag and drag from Owner. Will he
Owner
die?
will
Supreme
die.
Display
Owner
doesn't
will
even
die.
get him from
Yeah.
the tagline. It's only him for now. Yike gets 1. That's a clone. T1 have Baron recalls, and you can't be caught napping when Baron's up.
And T1 get away with it again. They're the best Baron team in the world, and they keep finding the angle. Owner starts it alone, and KC don't think they have the potential to do it because Faker was dead. It was 4 versus 5, and KC were the ones in control of the map. As I don't think Faker wins this 1v1, even if he gets the Petrifying Gaze. We'll have to see.
He's 3 levels down, but he gets Petrifying Gaze down. Pure stun here. Equalizer going to be down at half HP. Faker still taking it. Overload time as well. Auto attacks from Kana close, but Faker stands strong. He'll walk out of there, and everything was connected.
And that's why he's the GOAT and I'm not, because I thought he loses that, but now Busio might be able to find Faker here.
Busio has flash available. Is it worth
No.
Fake going to be used? Noxious Blast, Cosmic Binding though, and the auto. Faker taken down by Busio, makes a long trade.
Busio has 6 kills. Still the most kills in this game on the Bard. He is an assassin roaming around the map here, helping KC out, but T1 are fighting back. Kana does have the teleport, Faker does not, so it does mean that for this Drake spawning in 10 seconds, it's a big advantage for KC as Kalista is basing for his 3rd item.
It's a bit scary right here for KC to walk into Fog of War to get any semblance of vision around that Dragon Pit. But yeah, it doesn't need much vision, he just needs to be in the pit to make it advantageous for him. The TP behind them.
TP flank as well, Cataclysm being helpful now. Owner gets chunked on out. Supreme Display is enough. Owner down. Doran now, his TP is going to be way too deep. His T1 have already lost their jungle. Doran goes in, finds a good setup. It's a 1-for-1 for now, but the setup, Busio almost gets the stun. The damage from Kalista, his range, scary as ever. As Carrier runs through his life, there's no Electro Harpoon to catch him by the tail. KC open their mouths and say go, and now Dragon is going to be started.
It's a 1-for-1, but KC have the numbers advantage.
Petrifying Gaze, face checking again. Kana caught out, flush away from Faker. Gets out of the Tempered Fate. Busio there to cover. It's only a clone while Carry doesn't have enough mana to get over the wall. There's no smite. KC the damage, enough. Dragon secured at the cost of inner turret.
A mid lane is just going down, and T1 focused elsewhere. With both junglers no beam there, no smite, T1 had a chance. But let's watch this one more time. Yehu and Yike have been combining the wall plus Kiana ult to catch T1 off guard.
Really nicely played by Carrier here, getting the Pop Blossom onto Yike and then the CC chain from Doran. If they weren't able to take down Yike here, it would just be Owner going down in a free fight for KC. But with that, they get a slight cross map, some plates on mid at least. But it's still a big win for KC as they're now on Soul Point.
Busio has no Tempered Fate. Carry is going to be spotted out. Tango Barb's going to connect on him as well. Busio looking for the angle. The range shot's not going to connect on him either. Owner thinking about walking up now with pings getting spotted, or rather KC spotting out his rotation.
But KC need to be careful because Doran is opening up towards top side here and Kana has no TP. KC, they recognize, they back off, they reset. Busio's going to get his wards again and look up to set up this map once more.
It's really important that Busio walked behind enemy lines. There's literally 4 wards behind the Baron pit to make sure that when Yehu pushes towards the top side of the map, he actually feels safe from the T1 threat. There is a very deep control ward inside Yike's jungle on the top side, which they could potentially use, but for now, Yehu feels pretty safe. Oh, he found it.
I feel like you can tell from KC's wards here that they don't want to let that Baron Nashor be snuck away again, as they've warded pretty much every avenue that owner could enter that Nash pit.
Doran doesn't have any autos to get his energy back. Pause for a second, he's just going to walk it out instead. Knows he's vulnerable, as KC was setting up a play.
So a little bit of a lull state now, as both teams are just waiting for that dragon to spawn. Although T1 probably are waiting for the Nash to spawn, as that is their comfort zone.
Wow. Super important. Time has timed, and 3 items have landed in Sivir's inventory. This is where if FaZe gets a couple of ricochets around, a couple of auto attacks, KC will just melt. They do not have any tanky member to take those boomerangs, so we'll see if FaZe can actually carry while being 1-4 and many hundreds of gold down to Kalist.
And the thing is, even though Kalist has the 5 kills, I think Pace is actually stronger right now, considering the champions. Sivir at 3 crit items is going to be doing so much damage. The biggest problem she faces is that she's so low range that it'll be hard to auto-attack this long-range KC comp. And that also speaks to how KC want to play in general. They want to keep T1 at bay. They want to slow them down. They want to annoy them with Yehu's walls, with his slows, with his stuns, and make it really difficult for Faker and Pace to actually DPS.
Bell shield against this much CC. How it's used is going to be critical. Yike also won 3 items, by the way, so there is an explosion that comes from the Kiana, also the Glass Whisper, to add in some of those tank stats, at least the deletion of Actualizer picked up by Faker. So a 3rd item here for the Cassio, who is 2 stacks away from that Ward of Ages. Baron up in 45 seconds. Soul is up for KC in 2 minutes. Faker's going to get tagged out because he's spotted moving towards his jungle.
Very close to Shadow Flame for Kana as well. 3rd completion for Rumble would be huge before the next fight. I don't think necessarily KC want to bait T1 into that Baron. They mostly want to deter them from getting anywhere near again. Their sights are set on that Soul, which is going to be Infernal. What a huge Soul to have with a full DPS composition top to bottom for KC. So they definitely want to take their chances. They have 3 out of 4, 1 more remaining. However, they need to set up some vision towards the bot side of the map.
I agree with you, Trouble, but KC do Nash incredibly fast. Kiana, Rumble, and Nivea Astral. So if they get 5-10 seconds alone time, they would be able to kill that Nasher much faster than maybe T1 would expect.
I'm actually correct because I'm facility.
A team that's so
incredibly
intelligent in how they play around Nash, and with how much they love to sneak Nash off vision. I'll be very surprised if T1 are caught off guard.
KC can't hold their
Valorant.
button for now.
I
Control board
forget
spots
about
out nothing
it,
in the
but
pit.
maybe I'll take a nap first before I play.
There's KC with an entry ward as Kalist walks over it. One outside of the shuffle zone of Baron right now from T1 as well. The damage from Kalist obviously still hurts here. It was Ona looks to face check.
There is a bunch of vision for T1 around that bot side of the map, and as Jack mentioned, you can't trick the trickster and sneak in a Baron as KC. So I feel like an Infernal Soul is very juicy right now for KC. Those Qs landed, the Anivia damage from so far away would burn so much.
Well, it's boring without playmate.
And Busio has set up some vision behind enemy lines, a control ward, an extra ward behind that wall. See if they can actually get a catch towards T1 to start the fight.
Busio is bodyguarding this Drake pit right now as Kalist wants to try to get some poke down onto T1. They want to try to make it really difficult for T1 to enter here.
What wala dyan bumaba win rate ko. Makes me love it bad.
Although with the wall, KC could look to rush the dragon, but TP behind from Doran.
But it hit pays. I'm looking at that equalizer. It does the right damage to the right person.
They can rush this.
Harry looking for the angle, as you said. The rush is going to be gone. It's going to be Infernal Soul. The setup nice from KC. They didn't skip a beat.
Yeah, KC able to zone them off there. The owner getting
just some the game,
finding the flank, and now he's in trouble. But T1, KC knows they have to be careful here.
Oh, no, Dora.
The ward spots him out in the end. Blast
what?
Taken up mid-air. Kalist just going to space in public execution. Use pop loss. Meanwhile, we look at Yike. How's he caught out here? He pulls out the ulti. The supreme display of death is about to occur as he flies in on top of Faker. Faker won't die just yet, but he does get traded in. KC looking for the round trip to take us to a game number 3. Sivir hit up hard.
What the heck? Kalist is crazy.
Pays not. It is KC.
Para may wonder ako kay
KC, they want
Win.
to end the game. They've had the kills. Busio flashes forward. He wants to take
What?
down Carrier.
Wait,
KC
what?
wanna
I
go
thought
game
it's
three.
like one.
I
mean, it's for the whole series, not for game, bro. No.
But it came to the odds in KC's favor. They run through mid. Carrier gets on out, but it is the base that is being delayed. KC will run through mid. It is nothing but Owner to stop this onslaught.
Basta natin is yung Hasina. No! Yeah! Who will win the series, not the game, okay? Who will win the series, not the game. It's not for games, for the whole series.
Away from taking down the world champion.
No, it's not like that. No. The series is the derby. No, it's not for game. It's for the whole series.
The roar of the crowd for KC. And
But I feel like T1 intentionally tried to lose this game just to give, you know, the crowd the game that they wanted. Because come on, they're in Paris. They need to hype the crowd because they're the one. I mean, they're the one who bought the tickets, right?
Performance by Kalist Busio. Can't forget Kana either. Clutching the fight.
We ain't gonna own it. No. That's not gonna happen.
They have the
Oh my
lanes
god,
that
I'm
they're
so
comfortable with.
sleepy.
The lanes that they can win. As we watch this fight back here from
There's
Kalist
still
POV, he
game
eased
3.
forward, forces pace flash, and he knows that he can continue clicking forward. Gets the cues, misses the one on Jarvan, but
No,
you know he's
Bill's
already
gonna
done
be-
enough.
But all game long, Kalist eating forward. There was no pussyfooting around that Ezreal. That guy went in and only in to pull off some incredible moments here for KC. Match point, best of 3, final moment, and Kometo couldn't be happier.
And what's really admirable is sometimes when somebody slaps your hand, because there was that E forward where he gets the exhaust and he gets shut down, he did it again. That didn't put him down.
As we go to stage to see what the commotion is about, I think I can guess.
Thank you very much. As it is a game number 3, a decider for KC and T1. And this one was never in doubt by Karmine Corp. They did what T1 did to them in game 1, where they took an early lead and slowly, methodically grinded them down.
I think Busio was massive in this game on the board, playing around the map, getting things done, and setting up both Kana and Kalist to be absolutely massive. Doran just didn't really get a look in this game, and the Rumble was doing so much work, and Kalist on this Ezreal was just flawless.
And several times I think KC, they were down numbers, but Kalist and Kana did 1v2 on the top side and the bot side at the same time. I think especially this 1v2 was huge that Ezreal can get actually for the bot side pressure here.
Yeah, stacking up the lethal tempo and the Q flash auto, which he did to Ruler. Earlier in this tournament, pulls out again here, and in this situation,
You know what?
Gets away from the Q damage with the arcane ship.
Before the
exhaust
game
comes
starts,
in,
I have a
able
hunch
to get a
that
trade
T1's
kill, and then
gonna let
Busio there clean
KC
up.
Yeah,
KC
huge
win
buffer
the
on
second
arcane
game.
shift. He was
Because
going
that's
to
what
be
they
in
always
turret
do,
range,
right?
Gets out of that, turns
They
that
always
around, and all
give
of a sudden,
the viewers
Kalist knows
some
what to do with the
plot
lead.
twist
He gets it and closes
or
the door
whatever,
on
but they're
any
gonna win
comeback
in
for
the
that
end
bot
still.
lane. There was a moment in the middle of the game where
Why
we
did
had
they do that?
consistent shutdowns go the way of Faker, but then Kalist cooks a little bit, but allows the rest of the team to come on in and clean up.
So in this situation, Kalist does get punished, and obviously was a large portion of KC's goal, and that gives T1 the confidence to look for a fight. But this is where Kana really shines, coming in this Rumble, super fed, super far ahead, and just starts melting T1.
Yeah, and this is the moment where KC had the insane gold lead already. So even though with the Ezreal down, we had Kana with insane lead on the top side. So I think overall, KC was just so confident in themselves that even though we are down numbers, we can just take the fight. And I think the focus that they had in the team fight was just on the another level right now.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see.
T1 continued to keep it
The
close. They
heck?
started giving up
No.
points, but then Maybe one too many as the Infernal Soul goes on over to KC and then this final fight here.
I love this control that KC have because, you know, it's Infernal Soul. Of course, T1 want to contest this, but they don't get a chance because Yehu puts this wall down, funnels them into the choke, and the equalizer just chunks them down so they get the free soul. Then they move to collapse onto Doran, and things start to get really messy.
So even though you didn't really initially take the fight, with their control, with their setup, it was just another great brain play by KC here. Yeah, I mean T1 tried to kind of bounce back with the Nasher here, but they couldn't really do anything against Azure at this point because the heat was too fast.
And again, a catch on the Yike there at the Baron Pit could have spelled doom, but Busio immediately ready with the Tempered Fate to buy time and kept him safe long enough.
Busio's Bard is phenomenal. I feel like a lot of teams pick Bard away from Carrier as a denial because he is that amazing Bard player, legendary Bard player. But Busio is also extremely proficient on this champion and showed it there. So not only are you denying it from Carrier for the rest of the series for that game 3, but also he just enabled his team so much with that pick and in those final moments.
I mean, in the game 1, I mentioned about the T1 having a great advantage on the both side picks because I think the reason why they were able to snowball with the Camille is because Shen didn't really work well with the Ziggs. I think in the game 2, it was opposite. I feel like Sivir Nico was not great answer into Azure Bard. They couldn't even win the lane. They couldn't even look for outscale because they took so many kills on the side. So I feel like they need to figure out what is their main goal on the bot side because bot lane priority is the key for today. Yeah, sure, top lane also matters, but I think mainly support can roam around the map. That enables the top lane as well. So I feel like getting the bot lane priority, bot lane pressure is most important thing for this series.
Yeah, and we saw a couple times Carrier on the Nico pop some ults that didn't quite land or looked like maybe a little bit too early. And so, as you've said, this bot lane focus meta, whether it's utility, whether it's versatility, you're going to play some mages, you need to be in sync with the rest of your team. And both of these squads have done that, but also in this series, both of them have looked out of sync, which has made it so exciting. So as we move to a decisive game number 3 in our best of 3 semifinals, what do you want to see from both squads here, Ox?
I think, you know, Widow was hitting it on the head. The bot lane priority is really important, but also when we're seeing these supports moving, the top lane matchup's been really instrumental in this game. Having that early prio, having that early pressure. We saw the Ambassador into the Rumble, didn't really work. We saw the Shyvana into the Jace, didn't really work. I think getting a favorable matchup in the top lane and playing towards it could really turn tides in your favor.
And also, I think the flexibility on the picks can help because on the second pick, you can just pick something AP that you can flex on the mid and the bot at the same time. I think that kind of gives you the space where you think about better matchup in terms of what you want to play into it. So I feel like getting something flex pick between mid and AD can help a lot for the team here.
My goodness, it started with a league of their own way back in 2023 when Casey got to play T1 as you were there, Ox, and so far they've been able to progress further and further, now improving upon that 3-0 sweep over at MSI. They've won one game and are one game away from winning, from defeating the first ever EWC title winner and the reigning world champion of League of Legends T1. We'll see how it all shakes up after this.
Flash. Nico no flash. Nico no flash too. Nico no flash too.
Can you go Andrew? Yeah, shoot no flash. I'm gonna kill Nico slowly.
Oh, nice try. Oh, Nico to Nash, no?
Can end, no?
Or you can end?
Yeah, we can end. Yeah, we can end.
Nico, yeah, we can cancel Nico.
Yeah, I have
only your
okay.
one. Flash?
I think no
flash. I have no flash. I have no flash.
We were there.
That was a great job. Now let's hear the fans scream.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
Not bad.
I'm losing my voice here. Okay.
Casey! Not bad, bro. Not bad.
Yes. We need a real scream.
We need a big scream.
Go.
Casey!
Hey! Oh, that was good. That was good. That was really good.
Okay, guys, as you can see, things are going absolutely crazy here. T1 against Casey is coming out. We have a lot of French fans. I think the whole venue is full. Let's fucking go!
I'm supporting T1. T1?
I support T1.
AJL because I'm from China.
We're supporting go!
Anhua, of course. I'm a huge AJL fan. T1. Taiwan Live Sport.
T1.
AJL.
Casey's gonna win. Fight it!
My favorite player is Faker. Faker and Keria.
Caliste.
Faker is parce que il est toujours très tranquille. Et après, il est très mignon. Moi, je suis, of course, AJL Bender owner. He's really hardworking and he always thinks for the team. Faker and Shen's.
Honor and Carrier.
Faker.
Caliste.
You met your season soon. Everyone here is very exciting for it. We are supporting different teams, but we communicate with each other too, so it's very funny. I got to meet a lot of fans all over the world, and I can see like player in person. EWC is very great, it's very fun and very lively.
Everyone is welcoming, and I'm very happy to be a super fan here.
I'm definitely excited. The crowded, the fans, and the players, all the things are amazing.
I'm very excited at the EWC, and I'm happy to be a super fan.
I love being here as a super fan. Thank you, EWC, so much.
It is the pinnacle of our semi-finals at EWC 2026. T1 forced back and KC on the board. It is simply a best of three that has turned into one. And it is simply KC versus T1 for the final game to decide who goes to the grand finals.
And a great game from Dorn game 1. A great game from Caliste game 2. I think Pays game 2 with that Sivir going to teleport. A little bit, not cocky I'd say, but maybe a bit optimistic. I think he thought that it would be a much more chill laning phase, but Caliste, especially with the fact that he went the exhaust, decided to push him every way of the laning phase. So we'll have to see game number 3 how the draft goes. I think winning lanes for KC, we saw it night and day difference from game number 1 to game number 2, how confident they can play when they have the winning matchups. And I do think that in top lane, if Doran has a winning lane, that can be such an easy way to shut down Kana and shut down the rest of KC.
And I feel like KC were playing fast and hard in game number 1, couldn't find the objectives. In the second one, I feel like their primary objective over the map was to take down those towers, isolate targets, play through fog of war, prioritize those dragons to try and get to Soul. And that was just a much more textbook play from KC, kind of like a 1, 2, 3 steps, not skipping any of them. And I feel like there are a couple of characteristic champions that they could get in their hands to try and play for that again.
Well, let's see, because they got comfort last game. It was the talk between you guys that the comfort from KC and the champions that they rolled out with a perfect thing to get the job done. In game 3, they won't have to lean on that, or rather won't be able to, as Poppy gets banned. Seraphine take out a potential Ashe Seraphine as we go through Fearless. Also, the double owner ban still exists as KC prioritized the Nocturne and Vi.
I do wonder if KC... We saw yesterday Kalist going for the Zeri. He's been one of the few players that decided to go for it in this tournament, and we'll have to see if he decides to go for the Mage or something like a hyper carry, because he showed a lot of prowess on the Victor as well, but it changes a lot how you want to play as a team around him. I do think that in that game on the Zeri Alistar, they were very weak in the early game, and it was hard for KC to really play much, and I think you can't get away with that against T1, as we'll see what T1 locks in first.
Renekton was their ban for this entire time, and now it has been left open. Gnar is also in the picture for our top laners, and he has been seeming to be the theme to pick those top laners in the first rotation.
And I wonder, would Doran do that knowing that Kana's speciality has been this cannon throughout last year, especially into the Renekton?
Okay.
For now, it is the Rise. Let's leave that in the back of our mind. KC are a team who have solo laners who can really cook. Yeah, who's pulled this out before?
Kana as well.
Now they're flexing it too. You're right.
Although Kana Gnar, it's a tale as old as time. He's been playing it for years. It's his best champ for a long, long time. And Yike on the Wukong, another comfort pick for him. So it looks like in game number 3 here, they want to replicate the success of the draft in the second game and just stick to comfort.
Now hear me out. Oh, okay. I was about to say, a good Renekton can solo kill Gnar in the early game. And Doran is a pretty good Renekton.
A good Olaf can also solo kill the Gnar here, as that's what Doran wants to go for. We saw him play this up against G2 with Broken Blade on the Kled. And Doran did solo kill BB in that game, despite BB getting incredibly fed later on.
Oh, true. Yeah.
We'll have to see what Faker locks in here on 3. Would be probably just a jungle answer into this Wukong. Could be the Skarner if you want even more CC.
I feel like with their eyes already locked in, you've got Wukong on the other side. Pantheon has been sort of falling into priority, but he's one of those champions that can really pressure side lanes, and Gnar is a pretty vulnerable champion, especially in mini Gnar form, that could fall to someone like Pantheon hitting sides. KC are continuing the same trajectory, CC on top of CC.
Yeah, going for the Annie for Yehu. We saw a lot of, when he first joined KC, we mostly saw him on Annie and Azir, a lot of that. So it's a champ that he's also very comfortable on. And you see with how fast they insta-locked it as they head into second bans here, that this is something KC is very comfortable with, as we'll have to see what they decide to target, either the ADC or the support role for Keria. A lot of options here on the board. You can pair up, like both team comps I'd say are quite generalist. You can pair up a lot of ADCs, so they decide to just take away the Pyke from Keria because they don't want to have him on that explosive pick.
Like with all these all-ins coming through from both of these teams, Jhin could be infallible for both of them. Sets up really nicely, he's very safe as well. And with no semblance of a tank on either side, he will always have some value. However, the problem is always Olaf. And the one AD carry that has always been the counter to Olaf is Kai'Sa. Because when Olaf runs at you, you run at his backline.
Yeah, high DPS ADC that can kite the Olaf is what KC wants to look for. You don't want to index too heavily into the heavy CC champions that can easily get ran down. Like we saw when Doran played the Olaf into G2, it was Hansama and Ashe Seraphine, and it was so difficult for Hansama to play any of those fights since Ashe can't really do anything into the Olaf, so something that can kite him back, outplay him, as we've seen Kalist do in game number 2, is what KC want to look for as they take away the Caitlyn as well, and a Nautilus ban for T1.
Something like a Lucian Milio bot lane could be incredible right here for T1. There's a lot of CC you can cleanse over from Annie and Gnar.
And the Nautilus and Lulu ban as well.
Yeah, and Pace is an incredible Lucian as well. So I'm thinking something like Kai'Sa on one side into a Lucian lane for T1 potentially.
Kai'Sa without the Nautilus into Lucian would be very difficult.
Where is Xayah Rakan in the midst of this?
That's another option. Rakan is really nice with the Wukong. So definitely could be something. The only thing is if you're blind picking it, Kalist is thinking here. They want to take away the Lucian. I was thinking that with T1's Lulu and Nautilus ban, it does feel like they were setting up for the Lucian themselves. We'll have to see how T1 respond to it.
Where do we go from here? Will be Emilio take away to pair with something else, or will the Xayah Rakan get slammed in? KC knew they were walking into this one. With Wukong, with Gnar, with Annie, the survivability of Pace is a must.
It looks like it'll be the Xayah Rakan here. as both teams deliberating heavily on their ADC decisions. And it's probably going to be the Milio for Busio. Lucian Milio up against the Saya Rakan. It's an explosive matchup where Lucian has quite a bit of agency in the early game, but as you get that level 6 on Saya Rakan, it gets a lot easier for them. And with Owner getting level 6 as well, you'll have a really easy time trying to shut Kalist down.
I don't know if I like this into the Olaf. If by any chance Doran does pop off here, Lucian and Milio are so vulnerable to falling into an Olaf. There is no walls, there's no CC, there's no survivability other than
you have the mobility,
dash.
But you have the mobility, but the biggest problem is that you're quite burst heavy.
Yeah.
So if Doran gets ahead, as you say, Trouble, then it can be quite difficult. Because you just don't have the sustained DPS that something like a Kai'Sa would provide, or a lot of other DPS ADCs. But I do still like a lot what KC has drafted. I think both comps are quite similar. They're quite low range, heavy engage, and I believe if game number 1 and game number 2 have given us a trend,
then game number 3 could only be the top as we go to stage to round out our first semi-final.
Bonjour Paris!
Les gars, Game 3, KCT1, c'est déjà une dinguerie. Je suis trop contente d'être là in Game 3, KCT1.
We couldn't have asked for a better start to the semi-final Saturday here at the Esports World Cup. One game left to determine which of these two teams will get to fight for this trophy on Championship Sunday tomorrow, and a crazy amount of money. We've got a prize pool of $2 million. How much does the winner get?
$600,000.
Say it again, one more time.
$600,000 pour le gagnant.
That is a lot of money. Now, you've been teaching me Francais all week, but this is a bit of a weird question, but can you teach me one more word? How do I say prince in Francais?
Do you mean like the son of the king?
Oui.
Ah, en français on dit Caliste.
Caliste, the prince.
Caliste the prince, yeah, exactly. And I thought you had one more question before we get into the game for the French fan, especially on the KC side, I believe?
Yes, oui. What's the color?
What's the color?
I said, what's the color? Let's get back into this game.
Oh, I forgot to unmute my mic, my bad.
It's KC favored. T1 fans still littered amongst.
My bad.
We're in Paris, we're in that home territory.
I thought I just mute my mic using the mic itself, but I also mute it on my OBS.
An incredible close series thus far. And both team comps looking so similar. I don't think the fighting will stop that we've been seeing in game number 1 and 2.
I think we've had 80 kills in about 35, 40 minutes so far.
Yeah.
It has been explosive, and the comps littered themselves to that as well. Level 1 fighting, I will say, has been the most explosive I've seen all tournament, all MSI, all first stand. We have had level 1s going at it, but finally we get a
That's
bit more
Milio and Lucian
as lanes start off the most normal this series.
This is a more individualistic draft for KC right here. They have managed to pick counters throughout their lanes to try and overpower.
Oh my god, KC's being too aggressive.
Hopefully,
I feel like they're too confident
However,
now.
I will say
Since
so
they
far,
won
the
game 2.
support with the biggest agency on the map has been the biggest playmaker and difference maker. And right here, Busio on the Milio will not be that big roaming force that we have seen him build the other 2 games.
It relies a lot on Kalist here to really bring this game forward, as this matchup is really all about dodging these Rakan Qs, because if you don't give the Saya Rakan sustain, that's when you can really chunk them out and make their life really miserable. And it's once Saya Rakan get level 6 that it becomes a lot easier for them to play. I like a lot that Kalist went cleanse here, really good up against the Pantheon, and it also denies the exhaust from Pace, making it a lot less scary for him to dash in. Because if Pace could just exhaust him, then you could easily turn the all-in and just run him down, as Yeo's getting some good trades in mid lane as well.
Yeah, he tries to zone out, but he still gets hit by everything, including the overload, so Faker gets some good damage down in response, but stun is being held here by Yehu. The threat now gone as he takes it with a Disintegrate on a minion. Meanwhile, Kalist dashing forward. They got level 2 first here with the push. KC's bottom lane in a great position with Ona heading up top.
We'll really have to see how T1's bot lane can weather this storm. If they can farm well under tower, get to level 6 without much bleeding, then they're in a very comfortable position. But thus far, it looks like KC are playing the matchup really well, being able to punish T1.
Level 6 is what I'm looking at for T1. Pantheon provides all the side lane power that they can hit all at once. And it feels like Yehu will not necessarily be able to follow up into Fog of War playing the Annie. It is a little bit scary playing an immobile mage and running into complete darkness. So we will see if KC can actually sustain that pressure ball, knowing that level 6 threat is there.
And it feels like we should be seeing that attention top, right? We talked how pivotal the Olaf is and what Doran can do if he gets ahead. We know Olaf is a champion that wants to snowball the hell out of the game. So guys, I'm going to ask you, make sure you tell me properly, all roads lead bot this game, right? What do you think? The top.
I mean, I think all the matchups in this game can be quite volatile, as we see Yehu being forced to base here. Thus far, Doran hasn't been able to get much of an advantage, but now he's looking to all in. He has the Ghost.
New wave is gone, though, so Doran fighting in the middle, but not going to be too good. Good knock up here. Kalista in a bit of trouble as he saws and he cleanses that away.
Okay. Oh! Finally, they won the first early game.
Looking for the follow-up. Busio in a bit of trouble. No mana here to kick a soccer ball and send T1 out of there.
They still won though.
Hayes now in range of damage. The feathers flashed away from Busio is out, but Hayes just broke their ankle.
And Pace gets his revenge for game number 2. A great flash from him. Kalist tries to predict it as well, but with the Triumph, he ends up living so long. As we watch this, it's a really good grand entrance from Keria. Both Kalist and Pace flash at the same time, predicting each other, but with the Triumph, Busio's not able to take him down. They're able to chase down Busio and get his flash as well.
And this is kind of sad right here, because that KC bot lane needs to take off. Your Lucian Million need to be pressuring that bot lane, especially since your other lanes are gonna have a lot of pressure exerted. But now, Pantheon and Ryze are rubbing their hands. Both bot laners for KC are without their flashes for the next few minutes.
Yeah, it's a great start for T1. They couldn't ask for anything more than this, especially now. As you're gonna get closer to that level 6, that's when it really gets more tricky for this Lucian Milio. Once you have access to that Rakan ultimate, once Owner has access to his ultimate as well, as T1 want to keep the fights going.
Yeah, but there's a bit of a bait. Yikes coming in, goes into Glow. Keria gets the knock-up, good damage, and the root as well. They can't follow up. Kalista's low as well. And Yikes is going to have to stand here watch while Owner doesn't care. His bot lane 1 out.
And that is worst case scenario. Kalist gets chunked out while trying to bait. However, nothing goes back to KCT1. Not only do they chunk him out, they'll get to push that wave. They'll get to push next wave as Kalist cannot back here as well. And this is a worst case scenario for KC. Keria will only cancel Yikes reset.
I mean, but it's smooth. He stops the reset. That's nice. Oda gets his in first. So Yikes going to have to try again. And it's because Faker, I think, guys, moved into Fog of War.
Yeah.
So they had to pay respect that this Ryze is potentially coming bot.
It was a really nice roam there from Faker as Keria.
Keria a little bit over ambitious. Kill goes over to Yehu.
Okay, Keria tried to go for a little bit too much there. He failed flashes over the wall as well. So that is going to be a kill going over for Yehu, but still Kalist lost a lot of minions there, and you can see how annoying Keria can play on this Rakan. He still needs to be a little bit careful though, especially up against Annie with that point and click stun.
Actually, that was a beautiful swap that KC did. Putting Lucian in the shortest lane, now that he's missing his flash, who could potentially be punished down that bot lane, and especially since T1 kept pressuring the issue, Busio stayed just about outside of Fog of War, and the second Yehu lands into Keria's screen is just too late.
Yeah, I don't think Keria was expecting Yehu to open bot there, as you say, Trouble. It just allowed Kalist to be able to farm some minions on mid. Now they swap back to normal lanes, and it's still a 500 gold lead for Pace. But overall, item discrepancies are not too big, as Pace had to buy the Cloak of Agility, which isn't really much of a power spike, but we have a gank on top.
All in, going to be immediate ulti as well. CC Immune Wakana has the pike kited out. He flashes away, but Doran's still on him. The power of the Olaf, running down one, looking for the other. The underdog's going to connect, and here we go.
Whoa.
It's Ragnarok. One damage bitted down. Yikes can walk around, and T1 here have him.
Whoa, let's go.
Keria finds the knock-up, and Doran starts it all off.
And Doran is a monster here at EWC. He outplays Kana 1 versus 2, forces Yike as well away, and the rest of T1 are there to pick up the kills. As we watch here the pro view of Doran, he pops the ulti immediately, and Kana just is too cocky. The fact that he jumps forward, even though he flashes away, he doesn't have the damage to get into Mega, and Doran is just so damn strong on this Olaf.
I feel like it was kind of a mistake, just jumping forward on the mini Gnar. If his Gnar bar was maybe a little bit more charged up. I could see it trying to get a big Mega Gnar, but that wasn't the case, and it forces Yike's flash as well. He would have died too as level 5, and think I'm gonna say it. This Olaf is now scary for the Lucian Milio. He's already pulled ahead. He's a threat on the 1v1 versus the Gnar, but also the 2v1, even if Yike shows up, because that CC that Wukong provides, Olaf doesn't care for.
Game number 3 here. It's the individual lanes from T1 that
No, I am still here.
so difficult for KC. They also don't have the global pressure that T1 has, so it's going to be really difficult for them to ever generate a numbers advantage. Because if KC try to make a gank happen, Faker and Owner can so easily always respond. And this Lucian Milio losing the 1v1.
Oh yeah.
And you can see how cocky Carrier can play. He can walk around, cancel their bases.
Yeah,
it's so difficult to play into a Fetsire Rakan.
And that was a really nice respect.
I hope that they do it faster.
Yes, they're going to lose a lot, but they know that Pantheon is looming around, ready to ult. Carrier has been so annoying.
He's just trying to get the back stopped. He won't take
So according to their comp, KC and T1's comp, who do you think will win? Though T1 has the lead now, but yeah, just
about to die. Yeah, who finds it with Tibbers? If only just Kalist now comes on in to help one out. Culling going to be blocked by the minion wave. Tibbers going to die as well. Doran came down to help, but he has left top open.
But Kalist is losing so many minions on bot here. Pace is just able to continue hitting this tower. And Kalist really wanted to make something happen. At least Yehu is going to be able to TP, and they're going to get the grubs. But you have to question that move from Kalist. He wasn't really able to contribute at all in the fight because the fight was already over, but Casey played this really nicely.
I feel like there is no way he can walk bot lane though. It's just been so pressurizing. Rakan playing between tier 1 and tier 2. Kalist has to make a play to get some gold. Even an assist works here. Getting down Owner right before Doran shows up is a big win for KC. Even if all Kalist did was just poke them down.
It was like Kalist was in a situation, damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Exactly, yeah.
Kalist down massively. Pay's got some time with that bottom lane turret. 3 plates left standing. And this bot lane's still a problem. Yes, KC found themselves something towards mid. Yehu is getting gold. But if this Lucian Milio doesn't have effect on this game, we sure know that Pay's and Carrier will. They definitely will.
Yeah, Carrier has full control of this bot side, and oh my god, it's so annoying.
It's very annoying.
I can imagine that the KC players are feeling the pressure right now with how much Carrier is putting on them. Pace now with the Essence River and a chunk from Yehu, but it's going to be just that, a chunk with the Tibbers invested. And now Carrier can base again. He's put full deep vision. You can see that the KC's bot side jungle is littered with wards. And it's going to be so difficult for Yike to be able to find any sort of angle because T1, they always know where he is.
Oh, Kalist, maybe a bit too far forward. Owner's looking to push Yike out. Yike's going to get his smite. He's about a level up, but Owner just fancies the 1 versus 1 knowing Faker from the way.
Good football kick here from Busio. He's level 5 though. If he gets stunned up, he will not be able to give that breath of light to himself. One more minion will capture it, by the way, as interrupt there on the Carrier. Bit of revenge for how sneaky this guy has been during this game. As T1 still maintain that 1k gold lead. Dragon up in 30 seconds.
This is going to be such a difficult game to play for KC. Yehu is the one guy ahead with 2 kills in his name. However, the survivability and the tankiness and the kits of the T1 champions make it so damn difficult to chain CC.
Should I increase the volume?
And then the tankiness comes through, and then the Rakan comes through. It's just going to be so hard to break that wall for KC.
I completely agree with you, Trouble. It's only a 1,300 gold lead, but you can see how T1 are choking them out with the vision, with the pressure.
Hold on, go to the restroom,
it's so
guys.
difficult for KC to be able to find a fight when they're losing the lanes individually. They don't have the Pantheon ulti that can come in. They don't have the Ryze ult. And with Yike always being on vision, he's never actually going to be able to find a flank.
And here I want to go back to Busio not necessarily being on the playmaker of a support. He has been changing the map around, and that's why going even further back in draft, I didn't necessarily like the Lucian Miller right here. Not because of the composition, but because it kind of changed Busio on top of Kalist, whilst Busio has been opening up the map for KC for 2 games straight.
Yeah, they put a lot of eggs into the Kalist basket, but...
And rightfully so.
Yeah, but Pace has been better this game. They outplayed them in the 2v2, and with that, they've been full control. Still no Essence River on Kalist, so he's quite a bit weaker as Yike is trying to hover Yehu. If Faker actually steps too far forward, that could be an avenue for KC.
He's by himself. Mega Fire Kick, not bad. Khalid stepping up. The feathers are now out. Good dodge away. Culling is going to go the rest of the minion wave. K's in trouble as well. Khalid's going to get the feathers to full frontal. He gets away. There's Pantheon ult. Busio running for his life. He brings in that breath of life, but it's not enough. He's dead. Owner comes in and enough damage ensues.
And even though it's a good start from KC, they don't have that global that Owner has. They can generate the numbers advantage, and Pace plays it well with Carry and Owner as well coming in to help him out. As now Kana jumps in, but it's an Olaf.
Even in the Mega Gnar, look at Owner, look at Doran versus Kana. Almost takes him down on the turret though. A little bit cheeky, the flash in. Owner now going to complete the transaction. Yike brings out the Cyclone versus 2. He's by himself at the time being. I can't see the minimap, but I think Yike is just trying to get them away. He'll take the minion wave in the end, and Doran went deep for the play. Bit of respect to him.
Doran got a bit impatient right there. No expecting. His team could have finished it all. It was just 1 HP, but he's like, hey, it's Strikebreaker versus Phage.
You cannot face check a Pantheon Rakan. As he flashes away, he's going to get a bit of healing, and that's Yike continuing off the play. Owner in a bit of trouble as well, trying to turn it, but running back in. What is Busio doing? Carrying out a bit of trouble. Owner drops to the floor. Yike looking for the follow-up. Gleaming Cook is a bit of space. He's trying to solo kill Faker. He flashes back in. Disintegrates Faker, but he lives. Faker walks it out. He's got a minion wave coming up as well. Realm Wolf to get out of there. Yeah, who's leaving? Kana can't get squat.
And Faker escapes with the Realm Warp. He's able to get the TP out. Yehu tried to go for a really nice solo kill there, flashing over the Rise Cube, but he's not able to get the damage down. As now, Faker's TPing back to bot lane, gonna protect that bot tower. And the game is slowing down a little bit as KC try to claw their way back in.
But it feels like KC are always in numbers disadvantage because of that. We're going to get to see this one more time. Team has already been popped, about 40% HP onto Faker. Combos with the electric right there. And the flash auto is just kind of not enough with the Q to finish him off.
Did he get the auto in before the Q?
I think he did, yeah.
So maybe that would have been different for regardless. The pig's out. Faker picking the summoners afterwards. And he gets out of there. Nothing but S tier from mid laner as usual. Ragnarok under turret. What is Yehu expects going to happen? Doran is continuing to run on this Olaf. Regardless if he wins or loses, here we go. There's the all-in setup. Kalist gets out of there if only just. Carrier finds engage. He lives on a slither of HP as Pace steps up to the turret. The Culling's going to try and help out Owner. Takes the turret shot at the turret. Falls down. First turret of the game. As Kalist wants to step on up, but he gets stunned. Over ambitious. He flashes away. The feathers fly out. Kalist is down again. KC are getting nervous, and T1 are preying on it. The Cyclone won't connect the second time. Yike needs to find an angle. There we go, only to Owner, but Pays gets the step back and watch from afar. Feathers again. Busio dead. Yes, Yehu will fly in to find the kill. We go to the POV. It's Yehu or nothing. KC have one chance. It relies on the mid laner, but an undertow will connect. Doran knows he needs to leave. He doesn't have Ragnarok, so he's going to run it, book it out of there. The hop over. Kana won't find the boomerang. The Pantheon there to support, and T1 still finding the gold power play.
And Carry is just everywhere on the map. The fact that he's able to escape from Yehu there is a disaster for KC. It's a 5,000 gold lead from T1, and Kalist is so difficult for him to play, but I really want to watch the replay there because I think it's a huge miscommunication from KC. It starts off with Carrier going a little bit too deep. He gets incredibly chunked, but then Yike ease over the wall to the Raptors, and I think Kalist didn't quite think Yike would do that because Kalist is still playing as if Yike can back him up with how far forward he's clicking, and then after Kalist is already dead, that's when Yike has his cooldowns back up and he tries to flash onto Pace, but he gets outplayed as well, and it just feels like KC are so disorganized going in one by one, all dying.
I feel like it seemed like a bit of a desperation play as Pantheon is ulting down bot lane. They do have a big, gigantic mark on top of Kalist. As we mentioned, this Lucian is going to be make or break for KC, and so far, he's not really been stepping into his own shoes. Unfortunately here for KC, T1 have shut him down individually in the 2 versus 2, but also bringing the extra members take down Kalist. It didn't seem like a miscommunication to me, unfortunately, but here, they're looking for the Herald.
I feel like KC think that they can get the Herald as a response, but T1 is stepping up. It's Kalist in harm's way again. Cozy Campfire's out. Culling? No, not just yet. Kalist holds onto it. Minion wave going to be cleared while Yike does indeed get the Herald, but at the cost of Dragon. Third Dragon here. The Pace right in the middle of the lane. KC thinking, how do we find him? And Carry and Owner hovering to the side.
Meanwhile,
Faker is having his sweet old time playing EVM.
Yeah, KC they get the Herald, but it's still T1 with full control of the map. They're going to cross-map for the bot tower. They're getting Yike's jungle. You can see that Owner is finally starting to catch up in CS on Yike. As it's 2 items on Pace.
It's unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, full item up on Kalist. KC are going to kind of need a miracle at this point, because they're just not going to win in any equal number fight. And the thing is, they're not the ones with the globals, so they don't have the easy time generating that numbers advantage. It's going to need to be a creative TP from Yehu or Kana with the Meganar to be able to find an angle.
I feel like this was the best case scenario. The Trinity Force champion already have that one, Gnar plus Wukong. And this is the time where KC will have 1 item and T1 1.5 apart from the Xayah, right? So this would be best case scenario to try and fight them on sort of equal ground. Once the second items get completed, T1 will just mega spike on their champions. The second death stance is completed. Black Cleaver on Owner's Pantheon. It will be way too hard to beat them in a straight up 5v5.
Yeah, they will need to take that straight up 5v5 as the Ocean Dragon spawns in 3 minutes, but T1, they might not want to wait. They want to send 5 members up on the top side here and force this tier 2.
Going to drop, that's for sure, or at least get the majority of plating. Kerry's going to zone off. Herald in bot in the meanwhile. KC looking to trade. But a 5,500 gold T1 with his next wave. You'd think be able to walk this one in. Maybe not for now. Defended by Kalist well. Faker gets the stun up as Khan's about to go Mega Arm. Respect is paid by T1. Inner turret from KC, and they have objective bounties, so the fact that T1 couldn't find that inner turret top is a big win for KC.
Yeah, KC being able to delay the recalls as well, force Faker to TP. A decent cross map for them. The gold lead is reduced to 4,000 as they got the bot tower, got some plates as well. As Yike is forced to back away, but overall, I think T1 maybe got a little bit over-ambitious there going for that tier 2.
Oh, and Pace was so sneaky. He knew the red buff was spawning, so if KC stuck around, he was looming in that bush, waiting for KC to walk right into a 2 full item Xayah feathers. Wasn't quite the case, but Pace is feeling so empowered by this draft to just constantly walk forward.
Right after the last game, it's personal for Pace. Solo killed by Kalist twice. Kalist on the Ezreal, very different from Kalist on the Lucian here. Set up from KC's bottom lane hasn't been successful. It's only been Yehu who's maintained a lead. Also, Yike, who's got a bit of a lead himself on this Wukong, surprisingly, but Carrier, as he looks for a face check, will be found by KC, but they need more than that to lock him down. Dragon up in 2 minutes, Baron in 15 seconds. It is Soul for T1. KC need to find a fight, they need to find an opening in those next 2.
And T1 have really good Nash damage as well. So regardless of where KC choose to invest, T1 can pressure the other side. You can see how deep they can go into enemy jungle, forcing Yike out. Doran is fighting the Realm Warping top.
The Realm Warp with no turret there as well. Khan has to get one out. He needs a Mega Knight. He's going to flash, trying to buy some time, but he's dead in an instant before he can go Mega. Yike turns around in circles, but with 3 members of T1, he's got to get out of their pace. Slices with the feathers. Kalist is matched. Culling out there. Kerry gets on out with his flash. Culling is going to run out. Yike goes into a clone, but he's found out. He burns down. He dies. And T1 have a Baron. What a surprise.
Yay, and T1 don't even have to sneak the Baron this time around on spawn, because 2 members of KC are down, their Smite is down, Yike is down, and it's a free Baron for T1. Remember the timer with the items? They already have them. 2 items in, locked in, T1 clean win here.
Yeah, T1 are just outplaying them in every team fight. You saw Kalist here as we watched the replay. It starts off with a great Realm Warp from Faker. It forces Kana to walk into Owner, and then they can one-shot him before KC can arrive. A really nice flash from Yehu onto Pace, but Kalist goes a bit too far forward here, flashing to try to follow up on Pace, but Pace gets the Root Caller's edge, so he's not able to actually take down Pace.
Go,
and
go, go, win!
T1 as they continue fighting.
Owner's a bit far away. Busio will be able to walk out. Pace decided not to converge on that either. Owner and Carrier trying to find an angle while Yike and Busio now group up together. KC are moving in. They've got to fight fire with fire. 20 seconds for the Soul. And T1 have 6,000 gold over their heads. Faker on a ward, maybe an opportunity. The boomerang out from Kana gets a slow. Yike's over the wall now, spotted out looking for his Cyclone. Does he have it yet? His biggest question is Carrier helps out with a shield, a bit of a battle dance. Kana has Meganar against his wall. He's done so many great things in the LEC, but now on the international stage he needs more. Carrier baits and switches. And Kana now with no ulti. Dragon is up, but Casey have to throw it all.
One chance, one opportunity. Yehu needs to hit that on pace. There's no Mikkel, there's no Gwen, there's no flash.
He's in, hasn't pulled out the Cyclone. It is a shutdown onto Carrier. An opportunity for KC, but the angle. Doran is there. He'll roll in. It's Ragnarok time again with a single undertow, though. You look at who's alive on the other side. KC have numbers here. And Jack, I don't think it's as bad as we thought.
It's 4 versus 2. Doran has no ultimate. They'll have to come down to the smite fight. There's no smite.
Maybe in Stride Breaker as well. The stun up. The Annie coming in. Onto an Olaf without the oldie to chase down KC. Opportunity arrives. The feathers outpaced. Looking to survive. Get on out. Kana into the Mega Nara again. He won't even have the oldie, but he won't need it because KC supplement each other.
No.
Left alive, and while we're looking at that POV, he was the only one left standing.
And it's a miracle fight for KC. They're looking to take down Doran as well.
That's a stun. An undertow may connect, but there won't be another. Kana's going to hop, catch him off. Soul denied. T1 are down.
And the gold lead for T1 was 6,000. It's now 2,000 with KC picking up the Dragon. We have an equal game on our hands.
I really want to see the replay again because it was in Yehu's hands. No flash, no exhaust, no cleanse, no Mikkel onto pace. Did Yehu hit the tippers? He walks forward and he is primarily the damage dealer. He creates space between two sides and splits up T1 after Faker's ult.
I think Faker's ult was a big mistake there. It split up the fight too much for T1. I was really surprised that KC was able to find this fight with how far down they've been in gold. But with that now, it's still no objectives on the board for another 3 minutes. But it's a moment of breathe for KC as they might look for pace.
He's got exhaust, but that's it. Culling into his face. Carrier saves the day. Bit of battle dance for what it is worth as Doran is now running down. We're looking towards the POV because there's a Pantheon who's moving into position as well. Yike on Grom. Owner did ulti there.
And just like that, the game is equalized. Look at the
Are you
inventories.
slipping
2
already?
items all across the board for KC. Almost an hourglass. He does have the Seekers for Yehu. Very important. He has been the playmaker and the one guy who's keeping this game alive for KC.
Infinity Edge on pace is the next big spike for T1. If he gets that, he's going to be a lot stronger than Kalist. He's still up 2,000 gold. He's still 2,000 gold on top lane as well. So still, I think the fights should be quite favored for T1 unless Yeo is able to find a great stun or Yike a great Cyclone. But at least a lot closer than it has been in the last 15 minutes. There's the IE for base. He is incredibly strong.
Kalist, I'd be curious, where does that BF sword go? It goes towards the IE. How close is he at this point in the game? He's going to back as well. As you said, Jack, it's a 2,000 gold lead between 80 carries, but this game is on a knife's edge, to overuse the term. It really does feel like the next fight could win it all. It is Soul to deny against T1. It is a comp that got ahead early with Isaiah Rakan. A Rise has been PVMing, and Doran, who found a lead in Snowball. But somehow the resilience of KC needs to be studied as they found a way back in and a way to slow this game 3.
What is really critical now is for Kalist to try to hoover all the farm on the map so that he can try to get that Infinity Edge before the Nash responds. Because if he can match Pace's power spike, then they will have a pretty equal fighting advantage, but KC doesn't look dire just yet. So KC look like they want to try to fight. They're putting numbers in River. At least they want to retake the vision from T1. As Yeo is now forced to catch that top wave, and Faker will be the one putting pressure on mid, so KC will have to back off.
Even though no tank on KC, they can use the Wukong W to bait spells and also try to face check those pushes by T1. So straight up walk back in there. They've got the raw numbers, they've got the strength, and Yehu either side.
There's 2 people here. Kara's going to go out in the quickness immediately. Knock up. Yehu hasn't burned the summoner. Instead he goes golden. Pantheon not going to fall through. Yehu is down. He didn't pay the respective price. The Shark looks for an angle. Owner's going to flash away. There's the culling. All the damage layering down. Carrier has to go towards Pace, but Owner is going to die as well. Jack a little bit too deep. Pace gets some uptime. And with Faker behind him as well, and Doran running the back line. This is it. This is T1 showing.
Let's go.
KC thought they could handle them now, but boy, were they wrong. The feathers are going to fly out. Khan's going to run to the fence side of the turret, but T1 will siege top.
And T1, they have the wave. They can look to keep going. It's 3 people dead for KC. We'll have to see if they go for the end here.
10 seconds for Yehu. That might be the defining factor on whether T1 want to end or not here. They'll take their inhibitor and back off. But again, Rise, Pantheon, so strong late game to hit those side lanes. The second they see Yehu all on his lonesome. They know that he is the game changer for KC and take him down.
And Yehu had no stun, so he's not able to retaliate whatsoever. He gets one shot. Yike wants to keep the fight going, so he flashes forward with the Cyclone. And it's good damage from Kalist, but once Pace gets involved, you see Yike just gets destroyed by the Blade Caller, and then Doran's here with the flank. Kana's not in range to be able to help them, but luckily the death timers are so short on Yehu that it's not game for KC just yet, and they can still fight one more time for the Baron after.
See the Ragnarok timed out, and just as a Q came through from Busio as well, probably saved his life, probably saved more from falling in the base, if not all. Kalist just got Infinity Edge off the back of that fight, but T1 resilient with their gold once again as Yike is going to be spotted out, but T1 are on the Baron side, and Yike is not.
And T1 do this so incredibly fast. This Baron Nashor's already gone. KC will not be able to contest, but they have their eyes on the Dragon instead. They're giving up the Nash for a potential Drake fight here.
I owe you a
for KC
surprise.
that T1 will waste some of that time to play for the Dragon, but if that is the final fight, this is not good news for KC, because T1 could just end.
Owner, ulti up, as I see and believe. An angle. Puts
It's
up
not
the shield.
yet
Backing is
finished,
Yehu. Must be an option available. Won't be spotted out over the wall. The culling is now out from Kalist. Wants to step forward. T1, they're coming from behind the pit as Kana's going to spot them out. T1 are looking at the front door. It looks like KC could let them in as Kana's going to make enough. Doran has just used Ragnarok. Owner's ulti in. Is it discoordinated?
What?
Owner went to his death. Dragon goes
What's
down
that?
to KC, and T1 are being routed. Chase, a one-man
No!
is all Kana needs. As Pace must get out of there. Fear of losing the game.
It's a huge mistake from Owner. He goes too deep, thinking that it can actually be a fight when Kana's just baiting them. And with that, a fight, a situation for KC that looked dire. T1 could choose to push mid, they could choose to pressure top, they could choose to end, they could choose to fight the Drake. T1 held all the cards. They had all the options, but it's KC playing so aggressively that baits them out.
Yeah, and at the start, it's a very clear call. Let's push that mid lane and threaten those towers that we have Baron. But then there's a split call. Suddenly, you see the reset coming through Pace. Owner ults in with zero backup, and then Doran almost gets caught in the middle, ends up going down. And this is now 2 fights in a row at Dragon, where T1 have not necessarily coordinated.
I think they're cooking a bit too much with the globals, with the Ryze ult, with the Pantheon ult. I think if they play a more standard front-to-back, where Pace can auto-attack, Keria can get a good engage, there still should be favored with how strong this Olaf is, how strong this Saya is, but it's these small moments that have been going in the favor of KC that have led this to now being a 30-minute game. It's still a 3,000 gold lead, but at this point, gold kind of doesn't matter anymore.
And finally, sliver of anti-heal enters Busio's inventory with Olaf and Rakan. Even the slightest anti-heal helps massively, especially since Olaf wants to play as low HP as possible. Having that anti-heal really breaks the barrier of taking him down. And currently Kalist sitting on those 3 very important items onto Lucian has been dishing out a lot of damage. KC potentially on the verge of an upset for a game that T1 has been owing from game 1.
T1 does still have full control of the map currently. They have the Nash for another 20 seconds. As they're able to push in mid, Pace will now look to rotate, and Kalist will have to catch this mid wave. So T1 has one wave here where they can play with a numbers advantage.
I'm going to quickly mention items. With that top wave pushing in and adding pressure, Kana is close to Sterik's Gauge. That's a big one here. Realm Warp's going to be used, Faker's going to go in, but Owner's gone deep as well. Faker by himself. What are they doing? Shields are up, but Yike has got a Cyclone in hand. The dive comes through. Never mind. I can be wrong because T1 went balls to the floor. The culling comes out. T1 relentless, going under yet another turret. 4 members still alive. Carrier close to dying. They believed in the Olaf. They believed in the dive. They believed in Carrier to set that play up.
An incredible Realm Warp from Faker. He recognizes that Kalist is in mid lane. Now it's 4 versus 2. KC need to do a miracle to hold on here.
They've got a huge wave pushing with double supers on the top side of the map.
Health bars. Does it matter? Kalist willing to step up. Carrier already low. Gleaming Quill gives some sustain. Top wave pushing it, but T1 are going to back away. I don't think anyone else could pull off this dive. This looks so risky.
Yehu all alone under that tower. T1 sights on him. Take him down. And again, if you thought KC was coming back, shut down instantly from T1.
And Kalist was so late to the play, but crucially, Kana and Kalist getting the HP bars of T1 so low is what allows them to not be able to end the game.
Faker Actualizer, the damage from that fight, I don't think anyone would be surprised. I watched him 1,000-0, about 2 carries. And I think that's what really set it up in the end with that close choke they had under turret.
And KC had one slight edge in this fight, and it was the GA on Yike and 0 GA onto Owner. Flip that around from the second one as GA is on cooldown for Yike, and Owner has just purchased his own one.
The bright side is Kalist now has his armor penetration item finished. So he's able to match that up against Pace. But it's still T1 with full control of the map. They can look to play for the soul once more with Faker being able to split push in the top lane. They still hold all the cards macro-wise in how they want to stretch KC out and make their life so hard to play.
Back with an angle. We talk about the GA advantage that Owner now has. Level 16 for Owner as well. Cyclone is up. And Yike has had a pretty good angle on these Cyclones, but again, there's a lot of time being the trade that T1 have been able to find. Dragon in 40 seconds, still that soul. 2 Oceans individually picked up by KC. Keria getting targeted, good damage here from Kalist, willing to step forward with Busio, especially since he has that Echoes of Helia and a bit of healing to make Kalist a little bit more tanky.
This might be bad timing right here. KC at least get to push out that mid lane wave, which is very important if they want an extra avenue to enter that river for the next Dragon. It will be Soul 41 and Ocean Soul as well, when KC do have some poke coming down from Kalist. But right here, they need a way to enter this river, and T1 are blocking all entries.
And Kana needs to charge up the Mega Bar. He has nothing to charge it on right now, but a Mini-Gnar is not going to cut it in this potential final fight of the game. T1 are already starting the Drake, and they do this very, very fast. KC need to enter.
Realm Mob's going to be used. Faker's going to be joining in, or at least faking. He's on an angle for himself for the time being. Yike looking for an entrance. Quickness going to be used. Keria finds his own angle. The setup is there. Run goes. Doran, look at him through the front line. Dragon does go down to T1.
No! What the heck? What are they
KC
doing?
might have done it. They've taken down 4. We've taken down Owner. Can Owner get out with the Grand Swordfall?
He's going to try and he will succeed, but Kana just blew apart Paris.
What a huge win here for KC. They get to push that mid lane. 20 plus and 30 plus second timers. 5 men deep.
Oh my god, no way! No way, no way, no way, no way. No way! They can't end it! Come on, guys! Do something! I'm gonna quit LOL if they lose this game. Like, what the heck? Oh my god! T1! Just buy time, just buy time, buy time, buy time, buy time, buy time,
Pace is alive. The play will stop. The game will go on.
Faker has TP, is TPing behind. Yehu has no mana. Kalist needs to make a miracle out
Keria
here.
gets the knock-up. Faker's coming in again. Accelerator. On their defense, it is Faker, the saving grace, as he finds Yehu as well.
Oh my god, what
They
is
have 2
this
carries
game?
alive. I don't think they can go for the end themselves, but maybe they can go for the Nasher. Yehu is a 50-second death timer. Owner's up in 25. Pace is probably just going to look to do the Scuttle Crab, wait a little bit for Owner to respawn, and then they can rush the Nasher. Oh my god, what a game.
What a huge defense from Doran and Owner, taking down that
This is
wave.
crazy,
KC
guys.
cannot end. Keria as well, pulling them and splitting them apart. The entire venue on their feet, and so are we. T1 and KC going head to head. T1 has slammed the door shut one more time.
We watch this replay here. It's a great stun from Yehu over the wall. That's what starts this off. It gets pace, and then Kana follows it up with a fantastic Mega Gnar, stuns 3, and that's the winning fight for KC. But because of the fact that Owner can Pantheon ult out of the fight, he doesn't end up dying. Him and Doran can actually mount the defense to save the game for
Can't
T1.
lose this game.
And
And
now
just
it's
fit
T1 with
LOL if they
Ocean
lose.
Soul, with Baron Nashor. And it's a very tough battle for KC. They found that fight, but that was Yehu finding the miracle flight.
No more mistake,
into the
T1,
miracle
please.
Mega Gnar ult
No
from
more
Kana.
mistake.
And I don't know if they can do that again.
GA on Yike, no GA on Owner. Can Yike make the play here together with Yehu, all that CC? However, the 2 GAs on the 80 carries make it that much more difficult for them to die. And this could be just one more fight.
We see how explosive the fights are. Ocean Soul is not going to do a whole lot. Still gonna come
No
down
more
to this
mistakes,
next fight,
T1. You
unless
can't do.
T1 want to wait for the Elder, but I
can't
think they want to
afford
try to get
another
triple in
mistake.
him.
They want to find Doran, maybe take the ulti. Kind of goes mega, but it is just again persuading the minion wave to hold fast. Kalist stepping up to pace. GA, as you said.
No flash cleanse.
All in. Faker wants it to end here. Where's he going? Rumble towards bottom lane. Going to open up that inhibitor. KC going to move back. Retreat to their Nexus turrets. T1 want to move to a finals at EWC. They want to return to the top of the table. KC have their Nexus turrets to defend.
No more mistake, please.
Lucian's so short range, and he has to hold on to her stun.
Nice poke.
No, no, T1, what are you doing?
Sets Europe ablaze. Faker, the goat, down in the ground. Pace with the GA holds strong against 4. Pace, can he do it? The stun up, misses. Kana doesn't find the mark. Sterix Gage is there. Pace, kiting, ducking, weaving. The GA about to fall. The feather's going to fly out. He's alive. Somehow, Pace keeps thriving as the only one from T1 alive.
They need to kill him. They need to chase him, take the GA, because if there's another team fight that has to come up, Pace needs to die here.
But KC, they want to end the game. They're looking to push mid lane. Just don't let Pace base, and KC can end.
KC, how many are going to commit to a Yike's going to stand around? Goes in the clone, it's a bait. Pace can't back away. KC running through the mid lane. They need the wave. They need the finals opportunity. Yike is going to die. Busio knows he's got to stop him now. The enhanced recall. KC are running up through mid, guys. I don't know. Pace is going to get back. No, he's interrupted.
Okay, this is still winnable for T1.
Here comes the quickness. Kerry trying to get the minion wave in the middle time as well. Pace has been able to back away. Next is
No, 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 no,
Coming core in Paris. That's your news headline.
What the heck? What the heck, bro? What the heck, T1? What the heck?
Kept finding the
What are they
fight
doing,
after
bro?
Fight after fight. So many of the KC members stepping up. What an incredible game from KC.
The greatest best of 3 in League of Legends I think we have ever seen. And it comes from Europe. It comes from Carmine Core.
Guys,
and T1 are out.
let's
in
not
the
forget,
semifinals eliminated.
this is still business.
It is KC.
They need KC to
who have
win.
beaten the East twice over now in this playoff bracket.
Oh my god.
KC in the finals in Paris with their home crowd. You couldn't write a story more perfect. As this heartbreak for T1, they had the lead in this game the entire time, but it was mistake after mistake with the Realm or with the Grand Starfall. They were never quite able to connect in the pivotal fights that gave KC the win.
Honestly, what a resilience from KC. The game was lost so early on. Lucian shut down, 3,000 gold up on Pace, and they kept pushing because the crowd kept pushing them.
The impossible series made possible. Kometo astounded, obviously. How they came back from that game is a miracle.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching.
Blue is on stage with
Yeah,
Pierre,
that's
who
it for tonight.
helped
Thank you and
achieve it all.
bye-bye.